up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
I am fired up, man. Had to start this show off with the bat again because you know what? I'm calling this a multiple victory show today. You know why, man? It's going to be a high of 83 degrees, man. Detroit is hot. NFL draft, right?
Oh, yeah.
The biggest and most important Detroit Pistons playoff game in 17 years. Tonight, they have a chance to take control. And those Tigers won another series, man. Hey, April and the D is full in effect. It's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentials. Pistons reporter and writer for the network. I'm on one Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, vet of the network, Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower, man. What up, though, brother?
You know, this has the opportunity to be one of the greatest days in the history of Detroit sports. I will say this, though. I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, but I still wish that the Game 3, the first Pistons home playoff game of any consequence in 17 years, and the draft, I wish they were on different days because I am going to be doing some draft coverage, picks 11 through 20, and I'm definitely going to be checking the phone, more interested in what the Pistons are doing than what pick 14 is. But at the end of the day, it also presents an opportunity for us to have one of the most epic shows of all time tomorrow. Hopefully, a Pistons victory and a pick that we can all kumbaya on.
Oh,
Hopefully.
Something is telling me that might be a little far from the case.
Well, yeah. I mean, with the pick thing, but at least we got Brad Holmes making the picks. So even if it's something that we disagree with, the Brad Holmes is doing it is definitely, that's a real thing. That's a real thing that'll make us all feel better.
It's a real thing, definitely. And chat family, thank you all for choosing to kick off this hot day in Detroit with the Woo crew. Man, you know what? All the years that we've done this, it's so interesting coming into this day because it's Pistons playoffs and Lions picking at the bottom of the draft. When Woodward Sports started, it was Pistons no hope and Lions picking at the top of the draft. And look how quickly, at least 3 to 4 years, things have changed for this sports town just in general. We talk about all the time. The historic Woodward Avenue, all 4 pro teams playing right there, all on the same block, just a block away from each other. And it's the most unique sports city in America because it's the only one that's doing that. And now you get a taste of it where there's going to be NFL draft parties going on in the city just across the street from LCA. There's going to be NBA playoff parties going on. The activation starts at the Chevrolet Plaza at 4:30. So instead of them opening up 2 hours before, they're getting the festivities started 2.5 hours before the game. The city's going to be buzzing. It's going to be electric. And I can't wait. I can't wait to just be amongst the people and to feel that type of energy, man, because I believe that this is Detroit sports for the foreseeable future.
Well, that's the thing. I know that as a town, we still, during this renaissance, haven't won a championship yet, but just how far the sports teams in the cities have come. It's not that long ago where Detroit was objectively, in terms of team records year to year, as bad as it got in all of professional sports, at least in America, when the Tigers were terrible, the Pistons were bad, the Lions were the Lions of most of their history, and the Red Wings were just starting off the Steve Yzerman rebuild, which hasn't really even come to fruition yet. But you got Tigers in the playoffs looking to do it again. You've got Pistons playing a playoff game tonight. You've got 3 playoff games at Ford Field in the past couple of years. 2 of them were wins, by the way. Just an unbelievable time. And tonight is it's going to be epic.
It's going to be epic. And you know what else is epic is this. What turns it up just that much more is this. We're not the NBA TV series. Part of me sometimes wishes that we were, just because I know Zeke and his ties there, but I know he's all throughout TNT, and he's going to find his way, I assume, to Detroit sometime during this playoffs, if not tonight. but we are the premier on the premier networks, ESPN and TNT. That means that the premier hosts are here already, and you can see that some of those people are out and about around town. So I'm excited for the buzz that this is generating. I'm excited for all of the growth that the city has shown, over the last 10, 15, 20 years since some of the other big events that brought people out. Now people are coming out and they're seeing a more united Detroit. They're seeing when you talk about Renaissance, there's new buildings, there's new restaurants, there's new vibes all over, and now you get it with your teams winning. This is the Pistons playing downtown now, so it's going to be a little bit of a different vibe, and I can't wait. Chat family, smash that like button, show that excitement, man. Let's start this day off right. When I woke up and I saw 83 degrees, I said, Detroit is stunting today.
And you know what's funny? And I think I can just parlay this right into what we're talking about today. I was 100% convinced that today was just going to be draft and Pistons preview. But then the Lions went out and did a thing last night. I'm sure you guys know exactly what that was. And so it's going to be a jam-packed show. I mean jam-packed show. But still, amongst all that, we want to feature you guys more today. We are going to take calls later on. And also, I do have a lot of your mock drafts that we're going to feature. And one of myself, KG, and JB's good friends sent in a video of who he thinks the Lions should pick. And he might have them not staying pat at a 28, but just one quick, because if you send it in before 8:30, I will try my best to get them to JB so he can put them up. Even if you think you've already sent it in, because a couple of you said that you did, but I didn't get them, send your mock drafts to samr@woodwardsports.com. JB, if you want to pin that out, I would really appreciate it. Sam R, because my name is Sam Reynolds, so it's Sam R, first initial of my last name, @woodwardsports.com. I would love it if so many of you sent yours in that you don't even have to hear mine.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about Brad Holmes? Last draft, do you remember the scuttlebutt he kicked up when he just started handing out contracts to people? I'm starting to realize Brad Holmes is like, hey, we're going to be in the news one way or the other. April and the D's full in effect, and he just went out and handed out a pretty big bag, man, pretty big bag. But before we get to that, I just want to be able to get how everybody else is feeling about this day, because it's awesome to hear, how excited all of us are up here on this desk. But I know that when I look around this room, KG just walked in. We got JB Smooth, Willie B, and Cavassier Chase. I'm excited for what today can be. And Willie B, man, just tell me, because I know days like today, especially when the city's jumping, you're generally working in the midst of all of this stuff as a parking attendant, security, and so much other things. I know you get out there and you do content as well.
Yep.
You tag me in it.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, talk to me about it, man. How's it feeling?
Let me put it this way. You go have a crowd. A crowd with Pistons, parking attendant, everybody lined up. I got to be 2 hours early when there's an event coming, like the Lions opening day or the playoff game. You got to be there at least 2 hours early, call in before 4 p.m., and we be out there at 6 o'clock. Before 6:30, 6 to 7 o'clock, the line will be packing. Everybody got in traffic. It will be so many cars and so many packed and so many credit cards and so much chaos. It's chaos when you go downtown when there's an event coming. Tigers playoffs and all in the same day. Every Detroit event, sporting event one day, it's going to be a dynamic event when it comes to.
It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. And that's what we're building up to, because we got so much we got to talk about today. But JB Smooth, just real quick, man, I see the fire hat on today. What up, No Voice Reason?
What's going on? I'm over here trying to get these cameras all set up. My bad, fellas. But
bro, playoff game, NFL draft, the city's buzzing. We're gonna be down there at Buddy's.
The city is gonna be crazy tonight. If you're going down, please obviously be safe, but enjoy yourself as well too. If you're going over to LCA, Kool-Aid, I think you'll be over there. Chris Platty will be over there as well too. So say what up to the guys. And if you don't have time to go over there, we will be at Buddy's Pizza. You can come and hang out with us. You can enjoy the draft party. You also can watch Game 3 as the Pistons get in the Knicks' ass once again.
Let's go, boy. Hey, Cavassier Chase, we're going to go to you next in just a little bit, but Voice of Reason, listen, that's where I'm at. And chat family, please, as we're starting off this show today, and this show just got it was already going to be packed heavy. And then Brad Holmes decided, you know what, we're going to turn it up just a little bit more. I see KG over there shaking his head too. KG's ready for the day. I can't wait for y'all to see him as well. But we're gonna talk to Kavase about just this day. I like the shirt that you're wearing as well, man. Brad Holmes getting cooking. The draft is about to be a vibe. Got the playoffs. What up, though, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice day. The weather looks really nice. I was supposed to be in the 70s, so I got playoffs here and down at LCA. I mean, I think we got a really good chance to take advantage of the series tonight. And then the Lions, we're going to be adding, potential Hall of Famer to this team. Who knows?
In the trenches, preferably, right?
I would love a nice, solid 300-pound interior lineman, offensively, defensively. I mean, clipping all the shows, starting to hear a lot of similar chatter
everyone's
across
going off
and similar sentiments from other personalities. So,
hey, you know what? It's gonna be an interesting night when Brad Holmes says, "Get your popcorn ready, Flannel Sam." Before we get over to KG for his opinions, we'll give JB Smooth that time. He's over there cooking in the TD booth, and we tell you, JB is the MVP. We mean it, but with the Tigers winning another series, with the Pistons playing this playoff game tonight in the NFL draft, I don't even know where people put their focus. For us, this is why I tell you guys, stay tapped in. We're going to be at Buddy's Pizza today. I know that we're probably going to be filing into downtown Detroit starting around 3-4 o'clock and getting over to Chevrolet Plaza, as well as getting set up at Buddy's. And it's going to be a vibe, so much a vibe that we're doing 2 streams. We're literally going to have both streams, both watch parties going on, and you get to stay plugged into both. And if you're on the NFL one, it'll be picture-in-picture with the NBA one going on. If you're watching NBA one, it will be picture-in-picture with the NFL. And if you're down there at Buddy's, you get to come down and be a part of all of the action. So find us somewhere. I'll be in LCA. Platty will be in LCA. We'll have people outside in the Chevrolet Plaza. I know, Flannel, you're going to show up there potentially with the heavies, right?
I'm going to try. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I definitely need a afternoon nap, but I'm gonna try.
I was gonna say, man, that sounds like a little bit of White Claw flannel loaded.
At all.
I'm good.
Because you're on some of the shows tonight as well. So.
Well, I'm scheduled to be on the draft, the draft coverage from picks 11 to 20, but I'll definitely be checking my phone a lot. Because with all due respect to the NFL, I care a little bit more how the Pistons are doing than what the 15th pick is, unless. Brad Holmes, you want to make it a little more interesting for me? Huh?
Hey,
see your guy?
I co-sign that, man. And KG, my man Morpheus is in the building, boy.
Black Arrow in the building.
How gonna be Morpheus and I got hair, bro? That poorly.
New age.
Matrix. You can make anything happen in the
What
Matrix.
is time to be alive as a Detroit sports fan? Today is the shit that you live for, bro. You got the Lions as a winning organization going into the draft, maybe trying to, get that final piece to get over the hump and get that Super Bowl. Tigers killing right now. The fucking Tigers offense, amazing. Reese Olsen pitched a gem yesterday. Wish he could have got the complete game, but so on, so forth. But they look good. The Pistons in the playoffs, man. This is absolutely amazing. April in the D is back, and it's back in a major way, man. And shout out to everybody that's gonna kick it with us later down at Buddy's. Your boy is on for the pregame show, for the NBA playoff pregame show, and I'll also be on the watch party with Anson. Shout out my boy Anson. And we're gonna have some fun tonight, bro. This is, like I said, this is the shit that we have dreamed of. Like all of our teams except for one being good, and just soaking it all in, bro. It's amazing. Great day, 81 degrees.
It's going to be a great day, dog. I'm so glad that the city decided it's going to show out in totality because we knew that the fans were going to show out. But us getting, we know that July and August in the state of Michigan is some of the best weather ever. For it to show up today for this day is just ever so appropriate. And Brad Holmes showing out again.
Man.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember leading into last year's draft, there was some news of us re-signing some of our guys, dishing out some money, and it became some of the talk of that NFL draft cycle. And now, this NFL draft cycle, he goes out and makes a historic signing of one Kirby Joseph, man.
Joseph.
I'm sorry.
Big
The safety, Kirby Joseph, man.
Top
Best safety
paid
in the league
safety.
right now.
Hey, and when you say
Stop playing with that, man.
and when you say historic, it absolutely is
Talk to him
historic.
about it, Fred.
And that isn't even a exaggeration at all. And yes, I will read the terms. I'll read the terms. We'll go to break, and then we'll talk about it. The Detroit Lions and All-Pro safety Kirby Joseph reached an agreement on a massive new extension to make him the highest paid safety in NFL history. Sources say he gets a 4-year, $86 million a year deal that is $21.5 million per year. And we're going to break that down on the other side of the break. But tell us where to watch tell us where it all meet tonight.
Hey, listen, Buddy's Pizza downtown Woodward Sports is in the building. Get that app because you can double dip. You can have it for lunch as well. So make sure you get the Buddy's Pizza mobile app. Use that code, that promo code, to get 10% off. That is the promo code 10MEAL. All right, 10MEAL. And this is the legendary, the classic, over 79 years of great and original Detroit-style pizza from Buddy's. And that's why we're glad to be able to host the NFL Draft Watch Party and the NBA playoffs. The Pistons versus Knicks watch party at Buddy's in downtown tonight. So it's a doubleheader of hype this Thursday at Buddy's. Catch the Pistons pregame watch party, postgame show, and our NFL Draft live show, all going down at Buddy's Pizza on Broadway Street in downtown Detroit. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. with wall-to-wall coverage, a great atmosphere, in that legendary Buddy's Golden Crust. Come for the picks, stay for the pizza, and rep the D like only you can. Woodward Sports Network, Buddy's Pizza Thursday night. Hey, if y'all can't tell, I'm really fired up about today. Let's rock.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
Throw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo.
Ah.
You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
We got
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's Planet Fitness, fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to this Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you, chat family, for choosing to kick off this day with the Woo Crew. Let's get those likes running up because Detroit is already on one. It's hot. It's going to be hot. The people are going to be on fire. Brad Holmes has already said, hey, we are entering the chat. And with a historic tune for safety, Kirby Joseph. And we all pondered this early on saying, They can't. It's going to be tough for them to keep everybody. This thing could get very, very expensive. But Kirby Joseph was one of those players that all of us said, but you really want him here on this Detroit Lions because he was a game changer, a game breaker, and took away touchdown after touchdown away from teams in their own red zone. So I'm happy that they did get this deal done, and it is awesome that they get to take a little bit of this shine, just a little bit of shine, while NFL Draft Day is getting going. 4 years, $86 million contract for Kirby Joseph. Flannel Sam, how you feeling about it?
JB, do you mind putting that up one more time so we can remind the people of the historic deal that was just signed? The Detroit Lions and All-Pro safety Kirby Joseph reached an agreement on a massive new extension to make him the highest-paid safety in NFL history, sources say. He gets a 4-year, $86 million deal, $21.5 million per year, and by the way, that makes him the highest-paid safety in NFL history. So absolutely historic. And when it comes to Kirby Joseph, there's no two ways to say it. He earned his money. He was honestly, even though I've always said one of the best ball hawks in the NFL his first couple of seasons, if they gave away most improved in the NFL, Kirby Joseph, the leap from year 2 to year 3, he might have won that award. The improvement was vast. And JB, I sent a list of accolades that Kirby Joseph has had, both in his career and last year, that really hit home just how important and how great of a player that Kirby Joseph was. Kirby Joseph, just accolades. Most interceptions in the NFL over the last 3 seasons. That, of course, is his rookie year, his second year, and his third year. He has 17 combined in those 3 years. The next highest has 14. He had the most interceptions in the NFL in 2024 with 9. He was the number 1 PFF graded safety in the NFL in 2024. He was first team All-Pro in 2024, and he finished 6th in Defensive Player of the Year voting in 2024, the highest finishing safety on that list. And just for context, even though 6th does seem a little bit low to me, it's still a heck of an accomplishment because safeties usually don't factor that heavy into Defensive Player of the Year voting, at least not as high as 6th. And I'll tell you what, I know some people want to talk about how, does this mean we can't keep so-and-so? Does this mean we can't keep Branch? Yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna choose to enjoy this one, honestly, right now, because Kirby Joseph, what am I gonna say? That he didn't earn that money, that he didn't play like the best safety in the NFL last year? And what makes me more comfortable about this, I still think Branch is the better overall player and will be better moving forward, although you might be able to keep both. I suspect they probably will. But what Kirby Joseph has shown you during his 3 years in the NFL is that his floor is just a guy who can take the football away. His ceiling is best safety in the NFL. I don't think there's any chance, barring injury, of course, that this turns out to be a contract that's not worth it. Kirby Joseph earned his money, and I think that he is going to continue to earn his money in the next 4 years, or actually 5 years, because he's still the extension doesn't kick in until after this one. So shout out Kirby Joseph, you earned your money. What a season he had. What a player he is.
Hey, definitely shout out to Kirby Joseph. And I'm glad to see Brad Holmes strike again as it relates to paying his guys, taking care of his own, and taking care of some of the ones that have played some of the most important roles in the success that the Lions have had. And we want them to punch that ticket as it relates to the Super Bowl, but to this point, a couple division titles, and knowing that he has been effectively, directly, there are plays we remember, games that were important to us getting that division title that Kirby Joseph was the man in. And what I love is just how about the city is. Seeing him out and about at Pistons games and things, seeing him out and about at the Tigers games. Shout out to Nick as well, who got the content with Kirby Joseph the other day. And you could tell these guys are really loving their time in Detroit. Winning helps a whole lot. But all the hype and all that we talked about in the beginning and how the fans have completely bought in to what our teams are doing right now, that makes a big difference too. And that's where, for everything we know he's going to do on the field, when you see these guys get these types of deals, of course, it's because you want to go out there and win it all with that player, but it's also about who this person has shown themselves to be as it relates to identifying with the community, which is what Dan Campbell and JB Bickerstaff and these guys say. These are the identity of the players we want. And so when you see him go out there and he's leading the NFL in interceptions, he's dusting off all of the different narratives because everybody, oh, he's dirty, he's this, he's that. He doesn't care. He really just doesn't care. And that's what I love, man, the way that he goes out there every single game. And when Kraft Macaroni and Cheese wanted to talk, you know, when they weren't face-to-face, but then when they get on the field,
I see what you did there.
Kirby is like, what's good, brother? And then all of a sudden, nobody's talking. I'm like, I'm glad we got that on our side. And for all of the haters out there, where are the flags? Where are the fines? That man is playing just good freaking football, and he's making the rest of the league cry about it. That's what I want on my squad.
Good, clean, ethical football. And shout out to Nick in the chat. He's under the Tailgate Wins, if you guys didn't know that.
Yes,
Great
sir.
day for Detroit sports. Going to have some insane coverage for everyone all night long. Make sure to tap into the streams and socials for all the coverage. And Nick Koloff is going to be a big part of that. There's no better person in the city at doing man on the street content than Nick. It was like he was born to do that. Shout out Nick Koloff. But I also throw up that stat that Easy actually posted, and then it got posted to Woodward, our socials. JB,
hey,
if
Nick,
you would,
keep crushing, bro. I just gotta be
absolutely. This is a power stat. Shout out Easy. The fact that you got to it before I did makes me a little bit jealous, but you know what? Game recognized game. Kirby Joseph and Ed Reed are the only players with 225 plus tackles and 15 plus interceptions in their first 3 seasons. That's insane company to keep. And I'm not saying that Kirby was Ed Reed when he came into the league, but he was Ed Reed last year. He absolutely was Ed Reed last year, both with just being a great safety, with taking the football away, having the knack for the big plays and making big time plays in big games. Because speaking of that, and I know that I've beaten this point to death, but now that he's signed here, I can remind you again. I don't believe you win the opening night game against the Rams without Kirby Joseph making that interception before halftime when the Rams were trying to tie the game. I don't think you win the game at San Francisco without Kirby. And I understand that at the time it became somewhat meaningless, but the Lions obviously wanted to win. And for a large part of the beginning of the game, actually the whole of the beginning of the game, the 49ers were driving up and down the field getting whatever they wanted. But what really flipped the game, what really stopped the 49ers' momentum? Kirby Joseph's first pick, and then, of course, he got another one. And you can also argue that you don't win the game at Green Bay without Kirby Joseph getting that huge pick 6 off of that screen pass, which really was the backbreaker for the Packers, which gave the Lions a 17-3 lead. And maybe you don't even win the Arizona Cardinals game without him, because with the when the Cardinals were down 20-10, Kyler Murray attempts a deep ball into the end zone, kind of a Hail Mary, not a very smart throw, but Kirby goes and intercepts it. And one of the common themes of 3 of those games, you talk about the first Rams game, you talk about the Packer game, and you talk about the Cardinal game. For whatever reason, those were probably the 3 games out of the year, besides, of course, for the Tampa game, which the Lions lost, where the offense struggled a bit. And it was Kirby Joseph who really picked the offense up and who picked the whole team up. So Kirby Joseph was the man last year. He earned his money, and he played as big of a hand as anybody on the team and in the organization, and why the Lions got 15 wins and won a division title.
And what a dunk off the lob, too, man, because that's exactly what I was saying. We all know the plays. Or we can all think of, if Kirby Joseph didn't do this, we don't win this game. And that, to me, is what makes this deal so special, is that we were all wondering, what is Brad Holmes going to do? And you know what? He stayed true to form. He said, you know what? This guy is integral to what we do as it relates to winning and who we are as our identity out there on the field. You know how I know it? Because the league is talking about it. When you talk about guys like Alexander Zaloni, when you talk about guys like Kirby Joseph, the league is talking about those people. And that's what I love. All of the narratives, all of the noise, all of the media people who we heard talking against him, because we know how the media sways. Shout out to the legend Rod Beard, who's told us about it. For Kirby Joseph to reach the attainments he did means that he burst through all of those things and proved to be somebody who I don't believe is going to get the money and regress. This guy has only been a dog, because I've seen a couple people on here in the chat kind of make that notion. Kirby Joseph has only shown himself to be a dog, period. And that, to me, is why you go out and you pay these guys. And Brad Holmes' assessment so far, dishing out these contracts, has it been wrong yet?
No, not yet.
Not at all.
Yet.
We saw Jared Goff get the contract, and it was top 5 in MVP voting. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted, and that's where Jared Goff is going to take that next step forward.
Sure.
But with a Kirby Joseph, I'm really hoping that as they go into this draft, they do a little bit more on that defensive line, because think about how much better and how much more of a threat that makes Kirby Joseph in the red zone.
Oh, yeah. If you've got pressure on your quarterback, if you got Aiden Hutchinson and maybe James Pierce, kind of bearing down on you, probably not, but a man can dream. and a quarterback like a Jordan Love, for example, just has to get rid of the ball before he wants, maybe throw it into the middle of the field, into the danger zone. It's the danger zone, obviously, because you never want to do that as a quarterback, but Kirby makes it even more of the danger zone because he is the best ball hawk in the NFL right now. KG, how are you feeling about the Kirby Joseph extension?
I mean, how can you feel anything other than happy for the man? I mean, he's been one of the best safeties in this league, arguably the best safety in the league right now. He's gotten better each and every single year. And, for all my people that's, how can you pay a safety that much money? Listen, he's only making $500,000 more than Antoine Winfield Jr. per year. So I think he's earned this money. And it's just... It's a culmination of what the Lions believe in. If you come in here, you perform, we're going to take care of you, we're going to pay you. And Sam, you echoed my sentiments perfectly. As fans, we need to stop as far as we can't sign this guy, we can't sign this guy, we can't sign this guy. Let's just enjoy the ride right now. A man that has contributed to a lot of Lions victories has just gotten paid. And I think that should be the bigger story other than, we can't pay so-and-so now. Brian Branch, what we gonna do with him? Like, relax, man. Let's just chill. Let's enjoy the moment.
No,
shout out
right
to
now.
Zuper, man. He went out there and earned that bag, bro. And the man is so good that they had to create a dirty narrative about him.
And shout out to Kirby, too, for honestly being one of those supporters of the network. You guys see him. He'll retweet things.
Oh, yeah.
He'll share things. He will like posts. He will comment. He sees us at these different events and gives us his time. It was crazy, bro. We saw him at the Pistons game. He said thank you. He was like, man, thank you guys, man, for what y'all do. Man, y'all be getting me from all over the place. And we're like, look, Kirby Joseph in terms of pictures and social media posts and tagging him and such. And I said, Kirby, is really because of how you've gone out there and not just balled on the field, but who you've tried to identify yourself and identify with the fans. This is what connects you, and this is what's always been that recipe. And I know for a guy like Flannel Sam, it is one that's probably one that you champion because it's different than the role players that we generally would get attached to. This one is one where everybody in unison is like, yo, we got another star. And when I just kind of sit and I think about it and I take a step back, I don't remember another time where we were across our different sports teams getting stars and Cade Cunningham's max contract sets in next year, and this guy right now is proving he's that guy, and Detroit has that guy. And now Kirby Joseph and the Lions have a couple of those guys that you've locked into big deals. And Detroit, from an athlete standpoint, is buzzing. I believe it's going to get so much harder over the next 2 to 3 years to decide what's that Detroit sports Mount Rushmore.
Shit.
It's gonna get tough.
That's you know what, that would be a great topic for if there's a slow day in July or something like that, because that is a legitimate question right now. Who's on it? I think that we would all have somewhat different responses to it, but Chase, I want to hear from you because Kirby Joseph extension, highest paid safety in the NFL. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean he's earned it. He's definitely went out there and over the his time on the Lions been productive, and most comfortable player to him has been Ed Reed. So I think if he can continue to play at that same level, produce turnovers, roughly or close to the same rate, even if he doesn't, and he's still just hitting the ball away, just playing tight defense and just being a sure tackler, I'm totally fine with it. I think he's a really good player. He fits the culture of this team, and he's one of the first. I think he was one of the first guys who helped really flip the script, and was one of the first Brad and Dan guys that we saw help shape the mold of what this team is.
Yeah, and another thing about Kirby Joseph too, that was very well said, Chase, is that when you talk about best picks that Brad Holmes has ever made, and I understand getting Hutch and Gibbs and shoot, I'm forgetting a lot of but Hutch and Gibbs were Penei Sewell in the first round is spectacular, amazing. But the fact that he was able to get Kirby Joseph in the third and Amon-Ra St. Brown in the fourth, 2 all-pro players right there, that is just Shout out Brad Holmes. Great job. And Kirby Joseph, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I ever saw first-team All-Pro, but he proved me wrong this year. JB Smoove, you all in on the Kirby Joseph being the highest-paid safety in the NFL?
Oh, 100%. I mean, obviously, we all kind of knew this day was coming. It's just depending on when, and obviously do it the day before draft day. So Brad Holmes is putting it all out on the table, showing you right ahead of the draft that, hey, this is the guy that we want. This is the guy we want to be here, and we're going to pay him handsomely because we believe in him. So shout out to Kirby Joseph. I know he's a friend of the network. Just keep shining, brother. Keep shining.
I'm sorry. I'm over here laughing. KG, dog. Why you got the chat turned up?
Chat on fire,
I got to read just a
what
few
did
of
you
these.
do now, KG?
Mike G. KG looks like that guy that used to check my ID at Wahoo here in Chicago. Hold on. Xavier D. KG is for the future. Listen to what he's saying.
Yeah, Future showing up tonight, everybody.
KG is a whole A vibe today. Detroit about to show out. Organic
damn
Lindo
right.
KG look like he got some homemade soaps and natural insects to sell us.
I might.
At the Easter Market.
No,
He's going big for Detroit.
The
Yeah,
whole
Shot
was
soaps
calling
gotta
me
be-
Future in the chat too, so sensational. You know, shout out
And
to
shea
my
butter.
Oh man!
Not gonna lie,
man.
KG. I might, if I end up making my way to Movement Fest, I might need to like.
Hey, I'm down, bro.
Movement
Borrow-
Fest. We might have to make that happen.
I was about to say, you know, I know that has been. There's been some chatter about that, but I might need to get some of those sunglasses for a Movement Fest.
I got
Hey,
you, bro.
shout out DJ Choff. DJ Choff, because I know my man's going to be in the building. Used to be over here at Woodward Sports and Lady James holding it down
Shout
on
out.
socials, but one of the most entertaining and electric DJs. We got some of his music in the system. Hopefully he can hook some stuff up, man.
Hey, I would absolutely
Back
love
to
that. And you know what? When we come back, we want to hear from the people. If you guys have any take on Kirby Joseph, if you want to just share your excitement, give us a call at 313-552-6322. Go ahead and pin that in the chat, JB, if you would, please. And also, when we get back, while we wait, while you guys matriculate your way onto the phone line, I'm going to read some of your guys' mock drafts that I got, because there are certainly some interesting ones. And you know what else makes it even more interesting? No two are really the same. They're all unique and all, I would say, plausible. But we'll get to that in just a sec. But be sure, and also draft takes as well. If you guys want to call in and say who you want the Lions to pick at 28, that would be great as well. If you got Kirby comments, if you got draft comments, please 313-552-6322. We will try to get to all of you if we can. But JB, tell us about merch, please.
Somebody said merch. Head over to woodwardsports.com. All you got to do is click on that shop tab. We got new designs for you every single week, but I got to tell you about the ones up on screen right now. You know we got the Woodward Tigers t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, all available for you so you can be decked out when you're headed to Comerica Park this season. And you can't forget about
For
the
Detroit
Red
Day,
Wings.
bring back the Detroit size shirt.
We don't need that shirt.
Oh.
No, stop
I hear
it.
KG in the background.
We do not need that shirt anymore. It's done. That is over with. But get yourself some Red Wings gear as well, too. The LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies available for you. They didn't get it done this season, but that doesn't mean you got to stop supporting them as well. Head over to woodwardsports.com. All you got to do is click on that shop tab.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff like gimmies on the golf course. We like uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, and before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Ding. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Hey, and we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. I'm fired up for today. I'm calling this unofficially one of those Detroit days. We have to have one of those stamps where when April and the D, I know now October and the D has become a thing, that we just go ahead and we stamp that thing because we know the city is going to be electric. Oh, yeah. We just had opening day. We just had the Tigers win another series. We got Brad Holmes cooking up with Kirby Joseph. We got the NFL draft. We have the most meaningful Detroit Pistons playoff game happening in the city tonight, man. It's going to be alive and jumping in. And you know what? Hey, chat family, we want to be able to feature you all today. So definitely go ahead and give us a call. 313-552-6322. KG will screen the call, and we will get the best ones on it. We have some rules here. You guys will be on a 24-second shot clock. But if you get fouled, look at JB. If you get fouled, JB will go on ahead as the ref and put that extra 14 back on there for you. All right? So we got the 24 that's going to start. And we'll also look at the chat. If the chat is saying extra 14, if they're saying kick ball, if they're saying foul, give them another 14, ball out of bounds, then we'll definitely make sure we put that extra time back on the clock. And the best call of the day, we are going to clip that, and I'm going to get that up on socials as well. So let's have some fun today, and let's continue to talk about Detroit sports. I'm setting up the Krispy Kreme for it, man. It's Glaze Day for Detroit.
Hey, and speaking of Glaze Day for Detroit, this is also a great day in terms of the draft because we are drafting the Lions are drafting as a team that is in the smack dab in the middle of a Super Bowl window and are one of the favorites. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to feature some of you guys. I asked you guys to send in some of your mock drafts, and JB, just pick whichever one first. I don't have any preference, but go ahead and throw which one to
we can just go in order that the way you sent them. So this one is from Sleepy World.
Hey. Ooh, look at this one. All right, so at pick 28,
trenches are short.
He's got him picking Kenneth Grant from Michigan. At 60, Dylan Fairchild from Georgia. At 102, Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. At 130, Cody Simon from Ohio State. At 196, Caden Prather from Maryland. At 228, Maxon Hook, safety from Toledo. And at 244, Donovan Edwards, running back from Michigan. So the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is represented. I will just say that.
So we grade these mocks by if they would make Flannel run home and lay the pipe.
I mean, Kenneth Grant would, because I just don't see any way that he doesn't become one of the best D tackles in this draft. I know that he's falling in some mock drafts, but if the Lions were able to get him at 28, that would be an absolute steal. I guess the one thing about this draft that I don't love is you're really only addressing the edge with Jack Sawyer, and I'm not saying that it's a bad pick, but I would really prefer if the Lions were to if they did this draft exactly how it is. I wouldn't be mad if they also signed Zadarius Smith. Although the one caveat I will give is Cody Simon, he does have a pass rushing upside from the linebacker position. So if I were grading this mock draft, I would probably say B+. You also addressed a potential guard need, although at 60, I would prefer his teammate Tate Ratledge, but he might be gone because he is rising on draft boards.
Hey, man, and you know what? That Kenneth Grant, that D-tackle, and I love the way that he loaded up in the trenches there. Something that I know Kavasier Chase wants the Detroit Lions to be able to do, especially on the offensive line. I know as we get closer and closer and closer, everybody, all the reports seem to start to be in unison that this team might actually go offensive line in the first round, which I wouldn't be mad at. There's a lot of depth there, but I'm definitely probably going to stay consistent with Seeing that defensive line help for me is going to be something that I'm always probably a vote of confidence for. But this is the one thing that I found interesting. You have some defensive tackles out there who are very, very good, very, very elite. And I remember even Kavase talked about potential going the interior of that defensive line versus the edge and getting that tandem like the Lions used to employ a long time ago. And where do you land there? If you have your chance to get an edge, or if you have that chance to get somebody that you believe might be a little bit better in the interior, where are you going? Is it that best player available for you, or is it that need?
If it's Kenneth Grant, I'm taking him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's my absolute first choice. Like, if Kenneth Grant and Donovan Ezeraku are both available, it would be tough. But I would, even though for some reason my lay the pipe clip blew up, even though
I wonder why.
Right. Even though, like, Will Johnson, I had this big spiel about how I would love that. If you were to say you could either have Will Johnson at 28 or Kenneth Grant, as a Lions fan, I would probably say Kenneth Grant still, but either one would be absolutely spectacular. But if I'm going Kenneth Grant at 28, I'm probably picking an edge at 60. But I don't hate where you're going at with this, and this is from Sleepy World.
Yes.
That's his YouTube
out.
name. So a shout out.
It's pretty
to
good
him.
mock draft, man.
Yeah,
What
not
do you think
bad.
about it, KG? Before we, because you said we got some people on those lines already.
Yeah, we do. We got a couple people on the line. Oh, we just lost Devin, but Devin will call back, I'm sure. But overall, this mock draft. JB, you silly with this picture. I just looked up and saw it. But Kenneth Grant at 28. I think that's a pretty good pick, but it just all depends on preference. Do you want to get that edge, or do you want to get that interior defensive lineman that's going to be a dog, maybe the number 2 on this team in future years? But I'm not mad at that at all. Dylan Fairchild, I think he's a very good guard to pick up in the second round. Jack Sawyer, we all know I'm not the biggest fan of Jack Sawyer, but for the value, getting him in the third round, I don't think that's bad either. Cody Simon, pretty solid linebacker. You address the safety position as well. I would give this I'm struggling between B+ and A-. I think I'll go A- for this, though. I think this is, for the value that you got at certain positions, I think it's a pretty good draft.
Yeah, like
Donovan Edwards, running back too. Yeah, you don't know. You never know.
Never know, man. I see some people in the chat who said it. I'm salty. We have 3 good running backs, but we need Donovan, huh? I mean, if that's your last pick in the draft,
right?
You're right. This is the 7th
round. Who was integral to your Michigan winning a national championship? It's a flyer. I understand the sentiment because they did. You got Craig Reynolds, aka Netflix, and then obviously Vaki, and then the 2-headed monster in Donovan. I said Donovan, but in Demont and in Jahmyr Gibbs. But
my question is, does Donovan Edwards fall that far?
I don't think so.
You ain't in the 7th round.
JB Smooth don't even think he fall that.
I think that Donovan Edwards is going to be a contributor in the NFL someday, just because of his talent, because of his ability to catch the ball. And I know that for the most part in his last couple of years, it hasn't been great. But he's also, the thing about Donovan Edwards that you can never deny, especially as Michigan fans, is that he's had some of the biggest runs and the most explosive runs in the history of the school. And that alone, his big play ability too, along with his ability to catch the ball, I think that will make him intriguing. I'm not saying he's ever going to be a starter or anything like that, but somebody who could be a change of pace back down the road. I wouldn't put that past
for
him.
a later draft.
For a later draft,
I definitely believe that you're cooking there because you're right. It's the home run ability that he possesses, and at the NFL level, we've seen that actually be a good combination. If they have that ability and that vision, at least hit the home run, even though they might not be an every down back, they become a back that you can at least utilize in certain components, especially if you trust what your offensive line and the blocking schemes are doing in front of them. So, as long as he has that vision to be able to hit the hole and go, then I don't see why you wouldn't just see what he has, especially if you get an opportunity to draft him in the 6th or the 7th round.
In his 7th pick, he may become a practice squad guy. Who the F knows, but no harm, no foul. But KG, who do we got in the line?
Hey, we got my boy Jason Kenyon. We gonna start with him first since he was holding the longest. Jason, you on Wake Up Woodward, Brody? What's up with you?
Is this Jason Kenyon?
Yo, hello.
Because I hear him in the background.
He might be on the delay.
Hey, man, you're all crack-lacking.
Hey,
you're cracking up. No, I can't hear you guys. You're cracking. I've hung it up and rejoined a couple times, and you're cracking.
Hey, can you hear us now? We can hear you pretty clearly.
Okay, I'm gonna have to be. Turn my phone. Turn one thing up. Okay, so I can't hear you guys. It's cracking on the line. I've hung it up and.
We'll try and get. We'll try the next one. Tell them that we'll have them hold steady, and then we'll try to.
Hey, I'll call back and try again.
Yeah, just call back. I got you. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to my boy Devin the dog that called back. Devin, you on Wake Up Woodward, Brody? What's up?
Hey, what up, though, Devin? Can you hear us, brother?
Yeah, it's a little cracking one too. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Hey, when y'all these boys fixed, you know I'm gonna tap in with y'all. I miss y'all. I love y'all. Let's go Pistons tonight. Let's whoop the Knicks. Let's get the hell out of here because this shit sounds bad.
Hey, that's
Shout out
and
my
you know
dog.
what we'll do is this: when you call in, since we can hear you, we'll start that 24 seconds and definitely just get going. Hey,
Yeah.
say your point, say your topic, and we will dissect it on the show. But Devin the dog, as always, the support that you show us, man, it goes a long way. This guy's been someone who's blessed us with the merch, blessed us with his support, blessed us with his presence, just drops by and just to say what up sometimes. So shout out to you, Devin the dog, for being a chat family member and more to us, especially on days like today, man. This is a big day for us, and we're excited to do it, and there's going to be a lot going on. So when we hear that type of stuff, and we know we're running around the whole day, setting things up, and trying to hit every mark to deliver the best product we can for the people, it's dope to be able to hear that, and it goes a long way. But if we have somebody else on, we'll make sure, if you can, when you screen them, make sure they know when we put them on, they hit that 24 and we rock.
All right, cool. Jason Kingan is back on. Hopefully he heard what we said. But Jason, you back on.
Hey, Jason, what up, though? We're about to start your 24-second clock as soon as we hear you.
All right, going once, going twice.
Ah, man.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That is quite all right because we're fortunate enough today, because this is about you, about the people. We've got more mock drafts from the people. JB, you got Tev sauces. And by the way, Sleepy World, your mock draft is getting a lot of good reviews in the chat, so a shout out to you. But go ahead and throw up Tev sauces if you would, your royal smoothness.
I got you. Real quick, want to give a quick shout out to Mike G. Just putting this out there, ladies, if you need any services, Flannel's Plumbing Service, 1-800-BIG-PIPE. Right now, just call that number as it is. But, yeah, let's get to some more mock drafts we got going on.
Do we have any, just real quick, any super chats?
A few super chats before we hop into that. Shout out to Kyle. He sent in $1 just saying what's up for everybody.
Shout
out. $5. This is back when we were talking about Kirby. So Kirby was drafted in the 3rd round, and Amon-Ra was drafted in the 4th, and both are all pros. Is Brad really good at this? Question mark.
Yeah, no, those are just peak value picks. You probably couldn't have picked a single better player at that position than you did. Certainly with Amon-Ra. No question about it. I've looked through. Amon-Ra was the best possible player you could have picked at that spot. And with Kirby Joseph, I mean, he made all pros a 3rd rounder in his 3rd year. That's not typical. That's not normal. That's Brad Holmes working his wizardry and the coaching staff and Kirby Joseph for just coaching him up and being a damn good player. But you want to throw Tev sauces back.
Yep.
Interesting. So Tev Sauce, for those of you on audio only, he's got the Lions picking linebacker Jihad Campbell from Alabama at 28, Toledo defensive tackle, a guy I did a profile on, Darius Alexander at 60, guard Dylan Fairchild from Georgia at 102, Illinois wide receiver Pat Bryant at 130. Hey, another one of my guys.
Value?
Hey, absolutely. Guard Willie Lampkin from North Carolina at 196. Maxon Hook, the second mock draft in a row to feature this guy at pick 228. He's a safety from Toledo. And Johnny Walker, edge from Missouri at pick 244. And Johnny Walker, that man, you know he's a stud just by his name. I love that name.
I was gonna say, is this? It sounds like this is kind of lay the pipe worthy.
Yeah, this is a really good draft. Like I said, it's about, you know how I feel about Jihad Campbell. If he can come into the league and have be a pass rushing threat as well. He certainly has that high pass rushing upside. And at pick 60, I think it's pretty good value for a Darius Alexander. I don't know if he'll fall that far, but if he does, I really like him. You know, I've done a profile on him. I think he can be one of the steals of the draft. Dylan Fairchild at 102, interesting because a Sleepy World had him going at 60, so this is better value. He was a very solid guard playing opposite of Tate Ratledge. You know how I feel about Pat Bryant. Watched a lot of him last year, flashes off the screen. I think he could end up being one of the sleeper fourth-round wide receivers. You know how I feel about Willie Lampkin. The only hindrance of him is that he's small for an NFL guard, but he's just
very small.
Hey, he's just so good at what he does. To me, he's got the best film out of any guard last year in the draft. But I like this one a lot. If this is what Brad Holmes delivered us, I would feel pretty good, assuming that they have a plan for how to use Jihad Campbell.
Yeah, and I'm seeing this here. Steve Lehman in the chat, $2 super chat. Merry Christmas, my football brethren. But there's a lot of support for this mock draft in the chat. Greg just wants to say, I love Brad. We all do, Greg. Shout out to Greg 2025. But Donkey Kong, that's an excellent draft right there. Mike G, Tev Sauce fans. Let me see here. Greg 2025 though gives it a C. Dante 151 gave it an A minus.
Yeah.
And Chuckle Cheese, I take Campbell quickly.
I said A minus.
I can get us a C.
I don't know. You got to explain yourself,
It's
Greg.
damn near an A just off Jihad Campbell at 28.
And that's the other point, because I'm not quite as high on Jihad Campbell as you are, KG, or a Spencer. But at 28, no trade up.
Man, what?
He might be the best available at that point.
Because you were willing, KG, to trade up to what, like 18, 15?
I got to 14, yeah.
To 14 even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he would fall that far, which is why I did that in my mock draft.
Yeah.
But a lot more recent mock drafts have him available maybe at 28. So if you can get him without trading up, that's a steal.
All right, we got some more people on putting in their stuff. Donkey Kong gives it an A. Michael Wary says solid A. Top of the Gable, let Brad cook. Skydog, C at best.
Okay, well that's Skydog being negative.
Now.
But KG.
Yes.
I know this might be too personal of a question, but Jihad Campbell at 28, are you calling your wife and immediately laying the pipe?
I lay the pipe every goddamn chance I get.
You goddamn right you do. Goddamn right you do.
This will be an occasion.
Are you mixing in some extra moves
yeah,
with this
Oh
pick?
yeah, give her a little swirl. Give her the swirl real quick.
I hit her with that vortex.
Yeah.
The vortex.
Y'all wild as fuck.
It wasn't paranormal activity. It was the vortex.
Detroit Day.
Yo, y'all is wildin', man. The vortex. Oh shit.
That's one of the funniest scenes ever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But, okay. I'm trying to be professional, but this is a great. I like this draft a lot.
This is really good.
Yes, and we've got.
Oh, Tab Sauce actually sent in a super chat as well too.
Oh,
all right. Go ahead and read it if you would.
Oh yeah, shout out to Tab Sauce, sent in $5.
Shout out,
said,
man.
Tomorrow is also my birthday. Hopefully, Brad gives me some good gifts
Happy birthday.
this draft. Thanks for reading my draft, guys.
I'm hoping
absolutely.
tomorrow
Shout out,
is
man.
the absolute
Happy
biggest
birthday too,
victory,
by the way.
one of the biggest victory shows ever. Especially for Tev Sauce too.
Yeah.
Especially.
Hey, shout out Tev Sauce. Happy birthday, my man. Thank you for supporting, and thank you for getting your mock draft. And speaking of which, JB Smooth, do you want to throw up Big Con 51s?
Big Con.
Great name, by the way. And the best part about this is I'm actually getting to know some of your guys' real names. I won't reveal them on air, but
Right.
just nice to
Just know, if y'all come at Sam, he got y'all personal.
Do y'all see what Eric Allen said?
What Eric Allen said?
I guess how he's feeling about that last draft. I'm not gonna read it.
Damn, hold on.
I mean, I'll read it if you want me to.
It's in all caps. Do it justice.
I'll read it. Big Con, Eric Allen said, whatever it's the time, and Brad makes this pick. If it's up there, he about to go rearrange them guts. Hey, just saying. Go do what you gotta do.
Yeah, man.
Rearranging guts.
Sometimes the guts need to get scrambled.
Like some eggs.
man.
Get Willie.
Follow that up, Flannel Sam.
All right, Big Con 51. And as I said when I was previewing this, nobody's draft is like the other, which is what's great about this, even though there's some commonalities. But Big Con 51 has the Lions going with offensive guard Gray Zabel from North Carolina State at 28. He's got, just like Tev Sauce, the Lions picking Darius Alexander, D-tackle from Toledo at 60. And just like Sleepy World from earlier, he's got the Lions taking Jack Sawyer, edge from Ohio State, at 102. Danny Stutzman, linebacker from Oklahoma, at 130. Ricky White. I still hate him for that 2020 Michigan State game in which he torched Michigan, and they terrible day for me. But shout out, nice career at UNLV, pick 196. Tyler Batty, edge 228 from BYU, and at pick 244, Shiloh Sanders, safety from Colorado.
Shiloh Sanders.
This is at 244.
Yeah, stop
at 244.
Whatever.
And I'm not a Colorado guy, and I'm not even gonna hate on that. But this is one where, you know how I feel. I'd rather them go edge early and I think you can address the guard in a later round with a Tate Ratledge or a Willie Lampkin. But this is another one. I think I said this with the first draft. Mm-hmm. If you give me this draft and a re-signing of Zadarius Smith, I'm happy. But I also wonder too. And this is a question I think Kool-Aid and UKG can answer. Is there a chance that Jack Sawyer at 102 would actually be a steal?
It's been weird because since that one day that someone put in the chat, like, yo, he's dropping, and we were like, wait, he is, what's the problem? Then I looked and I realized he's dropping.
Really dropping.
And we've seen him up close and personal. We understand the fire he plays with. We know that we laugh at it and all that type of stuff, but the guy produces on the field. The guy is a leader in his locker room. The guy is a leader at trying to fire up his guys. And so it's like, as it relates to the Brad Holmes-ism, we turn on the tape and we see what he is. I'm okay with that. And I do. I feel like you start dropping that far, you definitely take an opportunity, especially when you talk about, look, it's one of the Lions' weaknesses. And if you have an opportunity to pick an edge that low who potentially has a ceiling a little bit higher, I say it is a steal, man. A little bit.
And I think that's a fair question because he's what really interests me in this one, and I understand that the postseason pre-draft stuff, a lot of things happen with your combine or your interview or just being dissected like a frog in a middle school project. The thing about Jack Sawyer, though, that is undeniable is that he played the best football of his life in the college football playoff. He really... And a lot of it is benefiting from the college football playoff being available to them, but I'm not on some hater shit today. Jack Sawyer kind of saved his Ohio State legacy. He balled the F out in the college football playoff, and he sealed the game against Texas with that big fumble 6, which made me damn near throw things at the wall, but a shout out to him. So I know there's maybe a lack of ceiling, which is perceived with a Jack Sawyer, that he projects to be more mid, but as somebody who's a bookend, at 102, I would personally address the edge quicker than 102.
Yeah.
But
if you're going there's an offensive line in the first, then I get it.
It's a potential that this is a steal. KG, I know you're not very high on him, but is there a chance he's a steal that low?
He has some athletic gifts that you would think, okay, if he comes into this system with some of the coaches that we have, maybe you can get something out of him. I don't know if he's a starter coming in day one. And a question that I would have maybe to y'all is, if you were to draft Jack Sawyer in the third round, would you go out and then maybe still sign Zadarius Smith?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I think it was Dante 151 as well, or either Xavier D. One of them. I think I've seen them do it a couple times with these mocks. They're like, oh, this draft is an A if they're going to re-sign Zadarius Smith. And I'm still there because you're talking about a guy who could step in day one and at least based off what he's already done for your squad, that he can what he can give you. And if you're talking about going and drafting up some guys who might need to add to their technique to have a better trajectory in the NFL, I would rather have a guy like Zadarius Smith in that room than not, especially since he's already been there. And we've been all saying this. We want to see that bookend between he and Aiden Hutchinson. Mm-hmm. Everything that he provided as the guy, while the defensive line and that defense was getting decimated with injuries, got me salivating just a little bit of, then who is he if Aiden Hutchinson can spring Zadarius Smith free just a little bit more?
Yeah.
He was already getting into the backfield, getting the pressures, leading the Lions in sacks after he got here. And that's where, any combination of signing Zadarius Smith and whatever Brad does to me, I'm just like, hey, let's rock. Let's go.
That's the wild card to everything. That would all of a sudden make me a lot more okay with a Gray Zabel at 28 because you would really be addressing needs. And I know Brad Holmes hates need, but I would also say that in 2024, part of his first round strategy was a for need with Terrion Arnold because they needed a corner. But we've got one more from Ed O'Neill, and Ed O'Neill
got Rando as well.
Okay.
Do you want to take a quick one and we come back and do those?
Actually, let's just do them right now.
Let's
do them right now. Okay. We got Ed O'Neill, and then we got Rando Smalls, but we'll start with Ed O'Neill, if you would, Mr. JB Smooth,
the OG.
Bam.
Yes, and he only sent in a 4-round one, which I am not mad at all. He's got the Lions picking Kenneth Grant at 28. It's an interesting strategy because he's got the Lions picking Kenneth Grant at 28, Jonah Savanea, who was a tackle in college but could project to be a guard at 60, so maybe getting a need right there. Kyle Kennard, edge from South Carolina at 102, and Jonas Sanker, safety from Virginia at 130. And I've said it before, Kenneth Grant falls to 28, except if there's someone even more egregious falling to 28 in terms of falling and maybe being a steal. Kenneth Grant is a guy I would absolutely run to the podium and pick for. So great pick there. My guess is at 60 there would probably be guards that I would prefer over Jonah, but I don't hate the philosophy. Kyle Kennard is another one, though, kind of like Jack Sawyer, where at 102 he could end up being a steal because he's very, very talented. He's just another one that seems to be dropping for whatever reason. And as far as safeties go, I know that they just locked up Kirby Joseph long term, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. If one of them goes down for even a couple of games, who's playing safety? Is it Vaki? Is it Devontae Maddox? Is it... I don't know. So getting another one in the room as a depth piece, don't mind it at all. This is a fine draft. I probably would give it a B, but if you add Zadarius Smith, obviously that unlocks even more. I feel like that's almost the caveat to almost every mock draft we've gotten.
And you know what, man? Shout out. I just saw what you just sent to the chat to JB Smooth, to our group chat. And that's the pick that I would make. Shout out to Eric Woodward of ESPN. His pick at 28 is one James Pierce Jr.
Is it now?
Yes.
Ooh.
Shout out.
Interesting.
That's what I'm going to continue to lean towards, man. Especially if he's going to be able to be there and give you potentially one of the higher ceilings. Obviously, you have to see how the board falls, but if it winds up, I don't see how Kenneth Grant falls that far. But if Kenneth Grant is there, if James Pierce is there, which one are you going with?
That's like picking who do I save, my mom or my dad. Like,
it's a good problem. It's a good problem.
You know
I know you think Kenneth Grant, but.
Damn! Wow!
Oh man!
Oh, ain't Mother's Day coming up? No,
it is.
No, but God damn!
But I'll tell you what. With Eric Woodward having the Lions picking James Pierce Jr. at 28, I wonder if he knows something that we don't. I'll tell you what. If that happens, if the Lions pick James Pierce Jr. at 28, I know me and KG will probably come into work tomorrow having already laid said pipe. Because all I ever hear when I mock the Lions taking James Pierce Jr. is like, Brad will never do it. He still might not, but Eric Woodward is a lot more tapped in than old Flannel Sam. So.
A whole lot more. He's ESPN's Lions reporter. He's a lot more. He's the guy, man. He's in all these rooms. We go to Pistons games. We see him in there as well. One of the pros. A good friend of supporting the network, supporting us, our journey, giving advice and all that. And honestly, he's just one of those guys who is, like you said, plugged in and tapped in. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go because up to this point, we've heard a lot of the other beat say what offensive line is what it might be looking like. Eric Woodward is one of the ones who's stepping out there and saying, you know what, James Pierce Jr. So it'd be interesting to see how this draft shakes out. And we got one more from one Rando Small.
Hey.
Yes. Rando. Put in a tray, too.
Oh,
okay.
Sheesh. Oh, sheesh.
Okay.
Break this down for us, Flannel.
That's not bad.
Josiah
All right.
Stewart in the third, y'all like?
Yeah.
Honestly, Walter Nolan at 28, I don't think he'll be available, but also we don't know if Jihad Campbell or Kenneth Grant are going to be available. So the point is, if he's there at 28, he's another one that I would absolutely be full throttle if the Lions did that, because I think he could end up being the second best defensive tackle. This is a very good defensive tackle draft, by the way.
Yeah.
At 72, trading back, which is interesting. I like that a lot because Josiah Stewart, he's another one who I feel like has fallen a little bit. 60, according to some, not according to me, but according to some, could be a little bit of a reach. But so trading back and still getting at 72 like that. Doubling up with Elijah Roberts at 102 from SMU. Don't hate that. Miles Frazier, Rando is having them address the need for another guard at 130. Jordan Hancock, Ohio State safety. I don't mind that pick at all because, like I said before, you need a little bit of safety depth. Interesting one at pick 196. Right. Kyle McCord, former Ohio State quarterback and Syracuse quarterback at 196. Sure.
Right.
Just another backup. Not mad at it necessarily. Defensive interior Zeke Biggers from Georgia Tech at 228. And Randall Smalls has the Lions addressing tight end, although 7th round is kind of a flyer. C.J. Dupre from Alabama. You know what? If Walter Nolan and Josiah Stewart are the first 2 Lions picks, I'm pretty happy. Especially if you can get compensated for moving back to take Josiah Stewart. This is another one, though. Hate to be a broken record. If you get Walter Nolan, Josiah Stewart, and a Zadarius Smith signing, I'm bricked up.
It's going to be... Because we've seen so many of these. I know you've done a lot of mock drafts. I've done a few. I know you guys have. It's interesting to me how many different combinations this draft can fall. And you know what? We keep saying the same thing. If that guy falls, someone's going to fall.
Someone's going to fall.
That's the good thing. Even if the popcorn, get your popcorn ready, is just wait till 28 to see which one of these guys that we keep saying might not fall actually falls to us. But hey, KG, how you feeling about this? I like this, especially when you're looking at how much attention they're paying to the defensive line.
Yeah, no, I like this a lot. And then when you look at just the fact, Josiah Stewart, the Lions have been in heavy contact with Josiah Stewart. And we know the Lions' track record. They've drafted, I think, 4 or 5 guys from top 30 visits. They've really been, contacting him. So be on the lookout, bro. The Lions could really be one to seek out Josiah Stewart in this draft. And if they do, I think that's a great pick, man. But he doubled up on edge, got Elijah Roberts. I'm not mad at that at all. You got the guard that you needed. Walter Nolan, of course, at pick 28. How can you be mad at that? And I don't like the Kyle McCord pick. Maybe you could have got a wide receiver in that spot. But
that's fair.
Yeah, but it's a 6th round pick. But overall, I think this is a solid draft. I would give this a solid B.
And I like that breakdown. You said something, too, about wide receiver. Because that's something that's been on my mind as well. At what point in this draft, if any, do you make an investment or take a flyer on a wide receiver?
I would pick Pat Bryant at 130 if he's available. That's the investment that I personally would make. Is he going to be? I don't know. But if you tell me in the first 3 rounds you address edge, you address guard, maybe another position like interior, and then you get Pat Bryant at 130, that is when I would personally make that investment. But before we go to break and talk about Pistons, because they've got themselves a big playoff game tonight, I want to just go around the room and everybody here give their final prediction of what you think Brad Holmes will do tonight. Not what you want him to do, but what you think he will do. And I'll actually start. At pick 28, first off, I think the Lions are going to stand pat, and I think that the Lions are going to draft Nick Scorton, edge rusher from Texas A&M, because I think he's going to be available, and I think he fits the body archetype and the play style archetype that he's kind of like more of a Davenport than a 3-4 speed rusher. So give me, it's not what I personally want, but it's what I think Brad Holmes will do at 28, and I wouldn't be necessarily mad at all. Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
What's Brad Holmes doing at 28?
Hey, you know what? I was actually in a position on that mock draft where Kenneth Grant was available and Nick Scorton. And I went Kenneth Grant, and some people said, what? No, we need the edge, especially if Scourton was there. Dan Campbell, Dan Campbell's alma mater and such. And I was like, man, I was really conflicted on it because I do believe Kenneth Grant is a game changer from the interior. But the player that you guys have sold me on, the player that even going back and just doing my own looks at highlights, stats, the narratives, some articles, it's James Pierce Jr. Eric Woodward, I'm glad to see that he's in lockstep with that, especially with him being somebody that's a little bit closer to the situation. But James Pierce Jr. to me is a player that I believe provides a lot of potential for that ceiling to be a day one starter. But if you get him at that good value, you get him in the first round, you get him for a little bit more controllability. I kind of like that pick, James Pierce Jr. in the first round at pick 28.
Interesting. And for the record, I would prefer James Pierce Jr. over Nick Scourton. Just to put that on the record, I'm still not convinced that the Lions will do it.
Yeah, you're thinking,
but
I get it.
Yeah.
You're saying what Brad Holmes will do.
Yeah.
And yes, I get it. The trends have been out there in terms of the Brad Holmes types of guys.
Yeah.
And Nick Scourton, if he's there, it does. It feels like the Brad Holmes and the Dan Campbell type of guy.
JB Smoove, what do you think Brad Holmes will do at either pick 28 or do you think he'll trade back, trade up? What are the Lions doing in the first round?
Selfishly, I want Brad to double down on that first round. Get 2 picks out of that first round, even though I know it's not going to happen. I definitely know. So we're staying put at 28, and I think at the end of the day, we all will be happy with a Nick Scourton.
Okay.
I think James Pierce Jr., even though he's falling in a lot of drafts, I don't think he gets to us. I just really don't. And I think we'll not to necessarily say settle, but be happy with Nick Scourton. But shout out to, of course, the great movie Draft Day, Chadwick Boseman, Derek Harmon. No matter what, it's always been Derek Harmon.
Ooh, actually, speaking of which, I almost forgot. My goodness. One of a buddy of mine's, KG's, and JB Smooves sent in his draft pick. The man's name,
right.
the man's name is Austin Zadar. And go ahead and play that. This is a this man's got talent.
I got you.
What's going on, Woodward Sports? It's your boy Austin, getting ready for this Lions draft. And if you're going to ask my thoughts on this, I had to think about it recently because I've seen a lot of mock drafts of this guy going here, this guy going here. Where are they all going? The real question is, what are these Lions going to be doing? So let me tell you what I think is going to be happening. I think they're trading up to maybe 21 or 22. That put us right around trading with Pittsburgh or LA. And I think we're going after Derek Harmon.
Hey!
Oregon. Let's go Lions!
Hey, so very, very good foreshadowing right there. And I'll tell you what, man. Austin is a ball knower.
Yeah, he is.
The one thing that I'm jealous of him about is that he's a ball knower, but he doesn't live and die with every loss and play like I do. He's got a greater sense of balance in his life. I do not have balance at all.
Very much so.
Hey, you know what, man? Bring the hometown kid back to the great state of Michigan. And I know that this is a player that has been talked about and broken down on this show. KG, how would you feel about that? Derek Harmon at pick 28.
Man, come on,
no. Trading up.
I'm not. Listen, I don't think you would need to trade up for Derek Harmon because there's a very good possibility that he falls to day 2, and it's not because any fault of his own. It's just this is a very loaded class, to Sam's point, in terms of interior defensive linemen. But I would love Derek Harmon being a Detroit Lion because I think he is a future starter. He is somebody that could possibly start day 1, considering the Aleem McNeil injury. And he would come in and he's got that dog mentality. He knows the city already. He knows the culture. I would absolutely love that pick, but I don't think you need to move up a whole bunch of spots to go get him. I thought Austin detailed it perfectly. If you can move up to maybe like 23, 24 and grab him, I'm cool with that. But I wouldn't go any further than that.
Yep, and by the way, no Austin slander in the chat.
No,
none whatsoever.
No, that's my guy.
He did a favor for us. He did a great job. But
shout out to Austin.
Yeah,
boy, AZ.
To me, I don't know if I vibe with trading up for Derek Harmon. I would probably. I'm more in favor of the Lions standing pat and somebody is going to fall. But at the end of the day, Derek Harmon's a really good prospect. I know KG broke him down a little while ago, and he really showed out his last year at Oregon, and he may end up being – there's about 5 different defensive tackles who I think could end up being the second best in this class after Mason Graham, and Derek Harmon falls right into that. And actually – Now that KG, I know you were a screen and a call.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's all. That's all.
Shout out
good.
Jason Kenyon, man.
Hey, shout out Jason Kenyon, and sorry about the phones not being working quite as well.
We trying.
Quite as well as we'd like. We're working on it. What is Brad Holmes going to do at pick 28? Not what you want him to do, but what do you think he's going to do?
Question of the day, right? I think he does go edge. I just don't know which edge it might be. Of course, I want, James Pierce Jr. I really don't even think he'll be there. I promise y'all he's going before 28. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll come up here tomorrow and I give it back. But I think he goes edge. Shamar Stewart.
Okay.
I think Shamar Stewart.
That could end up being a steal if he falls that low. I understand that he wasn't very productive, but he certainly has the upside. Not mad at that. Chase, what are the Lions doing at 28? What do you think Brad Holmes is going to do? Not what you want, but what do you think he's going to do?
Honestly, I think that they might trade back out of the first round into like the first or second pick in the second round. I think similar to what we saw the Buffalo Bills did last year. I could see Brad Holmes just making a trade, collecting some more assets, and instead of getting just one guy at 28, maybe he gets two guys, between 33 and 60.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Kavasi Chase.
Okay. Right.
Well said. Well
Chase
said.
with the braids.
That actually was that the candid photo that Ryan took?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's a
he
good
just
picture.
sent it to me, right?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, that was sick. He edited it and everything.
Yeah. No, Chase, that's a clean
You
pick
look like
for
you
sure.
was
Ed
in Bone
O'Neill
Thugs
says
and
so
Harmony.
much aura.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But
Like Busy Bone.
we got to talk about Pistons. I've been dying for it. This is almost too much good things happening in a day. I feel like we can't give everything all of its proper due, but we're going to talk Pistons, and of course later on we've got the pregame as well.
What up, though, JB?
We got one person who sent in theirs, $4.99 from Ryan's reaction. He said, Colston Loveland at 28, and where are we watching the draft tonight?
Consistent.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. He said, where we watching draft night?
Where are we watching the draft tonight? And Colston Loveland at 28.
Nah. I rock with you.
I
but nah.
probably still wouldn't do it.
Probably. You not doing that. Sam.
Do you need us to
Take your Michigan bias out of it. You're not doing that.
Do you need us to double up on anything, brother?
Yeah, let's double up. So let's do Dr. Pierce, and then I'll tell him about jars.
Hey, got you. Attention sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice. You guys want to trust the guy that DMAC trusts, because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
At home, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products. 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit. So there's always one close nearby you as well too. Shout out Kool-Aid as well. And don't fear, because we live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan. Stores are popping up your way very, very soon. If you don't have time to check out everything they have in store, look them up on jarscannabis.com or check them out on Instagram as well too at jars_life. Because you know what? I know you want to get high.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
Yeah, for sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Les Stanford Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone. Get a 2025 Envision Preferred AWD for only $259 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation for only $169 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
What up, though, people? It is Wake Up Woodward, and what a day it is. It's going to be 83 degrees hot. The city is going to be jumping. There's going to be NFL draft parties going on in the city. It's going to be NFL playoff pregame parties going on. And then we actually got the biggest playoff basketball going on in the city in 17 years tonight. Pistons and Knicks with a chance for the Detroit Pistons to just take a stranglehold on this series. They already went to New York and they took a game. And the Knicks stole one in New York. I forgot who dropped that in chat, but they stole one in New York. And the Pistons, they knew that they let one get away. And what better way than to clean it up instantly? Yep. This team has bounced back all year, Flannel, and now they have a great chance to go up 2-1 against the Knicks. And we want to talk about those keys to victory. How does this team go up and take that 2-1 lead and allow us to come in here tomorrow probably on the highest high we've been about Pistons since 2004. And one of those keys to victory, I know we could just kind of throw them out. It's always going to be don't shoot yourself in the foot. You don't want to cost yourself. We know that when the Pistons turnovers are up, they're giving too many more opportunities and points off turnovers to the other squad. We already understand what they do in the paint and all that. But in the playoffs in particular, when you're playing a team, the same team over and over and over again, the most important aspect is be ready for the chess match. Be ready for what they do to try and take away what you've been doing so well, both defensively and offensively. Be ready for the flurry and be ready for those stars. So it's effectively an all-in-one. It's be ready for that Knicks flurry because you already know Jalen Brunson's going to try and push the tempo to try and get foul shots. And this team, especially to start the game, Flannel is going to have to make sure that they are able to take all of the punches, remain within their character. And like JB Bickerstaff says, we're not the ones that are going to be pushed out of our identity. But the Knicks are a good team, and as long as they can weather whatever strategic changes they try to make, you already heard OG Anunoby crying about Cade Cunningham and the legal things. They're crying about the Pistons defense, y'all. The legal things that they're doing to get me off of his body. Man, my man's in a nightmare right now trying to defend Cade Cunningham, and that's where I just want this team to go out there and look the way they have all season. They haven't looked like a young team. They've looked like a squad that's belonged. And I want them to go out there tonight and have that same type of feeling, especially against the New York Knicks.
Oh, man, opportunity to go up 2-1 at home. I think my two keys to victory are, one, you've got to shoot the three ball better. And I think that they will. I think that that's as close to a sure thing as you can possibly have. I don't think Malik Beasley is going to go 1 of 8 again. I don't think Tim Hardaway is going to go 0 for again. I think because they got good looks, they just weren't knocking them down. And we all know how Cade is able to find three-point shooters. They are able to get the good looks within the flow of the offense through screens, yada, yada, yada. I think they're going to shoot the three ball better. And also, I think this is a two-parter. But make sure Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't go off.
That's a good one.
Because this is why I think it's a two-parter. Because, one, the defense on Karl-Anthony Towns was great. Whether it was Tobias, whether it was Asar, whether it was Jalen Duren, help side, great. But another way in which I think the Karl-Anthony Towns was neutralized, I think it was a little bit self-inflicted as well. And I think that's where in Game 2, J.B. Bickerstaff coached circles around Tom Thibodeau and may have a role in getting the man fired, which I hope he is, because I think that'll happen if the Knicks lose. Because at the end of the day, in the fourth quarter, defense on Cat was great, but they also weren't even getting him involved. Karl-Anthony Towns is somebody that you have to feed. He's not going to create his own offense. And it was just a lot of Jalen Brunson hero ball. And don't get me wrong, Jalen Brunson, credit to him, he led a comeback, which obviously wasn't completed because of Dennis Schroeder's heroics at the end. But I think it comes down to the Pistons shooting the three ball better and neutralizing Karl Anthony Towns.
You know, I like that strategy, especially because it's if they would have just shot the three ball better, you're talking about winning that second game going away with a whole lot less stress. But what made that win possible is the fact that you're right. They neutralized Karl Anthony Towns, who we know can do a plethora of things. It wasn't just how they minimized what he was doing scoring, but they minimized his effect in the paint. Yeah. He wasn't rebounding the way he normally does, and he wasn't getting the assists like we know he can run up. And so as long as you're keeping Karl Anthony Towns off balance, you're keeping him off kilter, and you're making sure that he's uncomfortable, continue to push him further and further and further away from the three-point line, because what's happening with Karl Anthony Towns is some of the sets that they try to run, when he catches the ball, if you look during the regular season, you play lazy defense, he catches and shoots because he's within his hot zone. Mm-hmm. They're pushing them back like another half a foot to a foot. And we've seen it a couple times where they've shot from that point to try and still get the play going, and they've fallen just short, hitting the front end of the rim. And you could tell they're just outside of their mark, because at that level, players shoot based off of the motion. They've already put in all the work. They've already put in the shooting motion. It's almost at that point in time mechanical. You could turn off the lights in the gym. You put them in their hot zone, they're going to make that shot more times than not. And so with the Pistons playing more aggressive, being in their jerseys, not allowing them to be comfortable, those are the types of things that overall you want to see this team continue to employ, because I believe man to man, that second game, the Pistons just brought a completely different energy that seemed to be missing when they lost, especially when they started losing that lead in the fourth quarter of game one.
Yeah, I love it. It was a defensive masterclass, but also just one thing that I heard, which actually kind of made things make more sense, is that Karl Anthony Towns, and this isn't me. I got this from X. I wish I could attribute it to somebody. It's almost as if they go through spurts like they did in a game two, where they don't really know what he is. Karl Anthony Towns is a guy who should, in theory, help your offensive ceiling and your offensive floor. But they just didn't get him involved as much. But like I said, the Pistons had a ton to do with it. Karl Anthony Towns was in hell. But it's weird how...
Shout out Uncle Tobias.
Absolutely. It's weird, though, how Tom Thibodeau, he's actually coached Karl Anthony Towns at two different stops. But I sometimes feel like Thibs doesn't even like him that much.
Tell me that Tibbs already doesn't, like, we talk about how our players are making the Knicks players uncomfortable. Tell me JB Bickerstaff doesn't have Coach Tibbs looking uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
He was crashing out.
He's at the podium asking for fucking foul calls.
Yeah, and
you are definitely in their head.
And you heard there's certain comments and such, Jalen Brunson and some of the stuff coming from the reporters. Remember what we talked about before game two. You win game two, you turn up the pressure on them. It's not just the headlines. The people writing the headlines are in the media room asking them these questions. Mm-hmm. And some of the questions coming up, like, bro, you're going out there as OG Anunoby playing your darndest. And they're just like, yeah, we know that there were things they did to get him off your body, but he was also, to paraphrase, effectively cooking you in the one-on-ones too.
Right.
No, they was doing screens and stuff. Like, they're hearing
this. Yeah, he
this.
tried to say they was doing moving screens.
But but then the plays that we were able to show, Cat does this so much to try and spring Jalen Brunson free. So, hey, moot point is a moot point in that. But my thing is, when you win, especially in a series like this, it's not just that the bright lights are on, that Cade Cunningham and the Pistons star and what they've been doing can get that notice. It's that every game you win, those questions start to pile up that they're going to have to answer face to face. And some of those things did center around where it was effectively Cat in the fourth quarter. And Jalen Brunson, I ain't calling nobody out. I just got to be better. You know, there's things I can do. When the star player who you know went out there, Jalen Brunson, he did what he was supposed to do, has to answer the question that way. And now he has to take bullets because Cat disappeared. These are the things that start to mount that pressure. And that's why I said, as long as the Pistons can really kind of take the punches, because you know they're going to come out throwing these tonight. They're not coming out even this. The Knicks are coming out trying to throw haymakers to start the game, to deaden the crowd already. As long as they can mess with that, the Pistons have shown. Cat does nothing to them in these fourth quarters, bro. Like in the regular season and in the playoffs, they got some type of like
neutered the Cat.
They got
that's a bar.
They got some type of recipe, And you're right, JB Bickerstaff is. If they continue this on, you talk about JB Bickerstaff definitely. We came into this thing saying he is the best coach in the series, but he's going to have to prove that he's the best coach in the series for the Pistons to win.
For the record, I was a little on the fence about that, but
you are
there is
more than me.
This series will, I think, tell the story of that. But KG, is the cat going to get neutered?
Yeah, he's gonna he's absolutely gonna get neutered, and I continue to say this. If he comes out early, that's all well and good. But it's all about what you do in that second half against Karl Anthony Towns. And big shout out to B-Ball Paul and Jalen Duren in this last game, and Tobias Harris, of course. But, them playing the type of defense that they played on Cat, and him not even wanting to take a shot attempt in the fourth quarter, that's a little telling. And the biggest difference between game 1 and game 2 to me, besides a fluke Cameron Payne fourth quarter, was the turnover differential. The Pistons were able to cut their turnovers down from 22 in game 1 to 16 in game 2. And I think that is key. If you're holding onto the ball and you're playing the physical type of defense that we know the Pistons can play, they're going to be okay. You want to put all that pressure on Jalen Brunson to go out there, play hero ball, be Superman, try and foul bait, And one thing I think the Knicks are quickly learning is that y'all not going to win this foul baiting game. The refs are calling this thing straight up, maybe even more so towards the Pistons, because they know that the Knicks are actually seeking those type of calls. And the Pistons, we're used to not getting calls. This is a perfect situation for Cade, and I would dare say the refs are starting to adjust to Cade's game a lot. I think next year we'll see a lot more foul calls in that regard, but just keep that recipe going. Be dominant in the paint. Hopefully we can get the 3-ball falling, with Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley, but I think you can survive as long as you keep playing the defense that you're playing. You're getting the amount of play that you're getting from Tobias Harris, and you take Cat out of the game in the second half.
And when we talk about pounding the paint, which we know the Detroit Pistons are one of the best teams in the league at doing that, and they showed that in the second game even better with Cade Cunningham right from the get-go attacking the paint. What you do is you force the Knicks to have to play this weird game. Mitchell Robinson not giving you much on offense. We know that he can give you some putbacks and things of that nature, maybe a pick-and-roll basket a game, but he's not giving you much on offense. But you need him and the physicality he brings if Cade Cunningham is just dancing his way in and getting whatever layup he wants.
Exactly.
Remember the reverse layup
that
he had that he almost dunked?
Yeah.
It was just like, y'all don't matter. And then when Duren just turned, Duren was trying to do the dribble handoff. Turned, because you're always supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
And then he always looks and then turns back and passes it. He saw Cat and just was like to the rack.
Right.
Mitchell Robinson, they got that man into that game quick, and his minutes went up from 18 the first game to 20 in the second game. The problem is he's not. You're gonna have to make this decision. Do you slow them down on defense and give up some offense, bringing in Mitchell Robinson? And that's what being aggressive for the Pistons early on and weathering those punches before Mitchell Robinson comes in. That's what that means.
Yeah.
You play them toe for toe because they're gonna come out with a lot of energy, in my opinion, to start that game. I believe that actually is one of the best case scenarios for the Pistons. If you're playing them toe for toe, because if Jalen Brunson is pushing the issue, if he takes the recipe from game 1, he's going to get his free throws early in this game. And you want to see the Detroit Pistons be able to weather that storm and give this crowd an opportunity to be able to take over, because the Knicks, I'm sorry, man, their bench is going to be shoddy and spotty all series long. And now these guys like Campaign, Mitchell Robinson, they're going to have to find a way to break through and still contribute. I don't think that just OG Anunoby and Josh Hart are enough. I do believe that the Knicks, when you're talking about coming into the series, we thought they were the more talented team, but we thought that the Pistons' depth would pose a big issue to the New York Knicks. And we see this team getting tired, especially when it matters most.
Yeah, because you don't utilize your fucking bench throughout the season. What do you think's gonna happen? That's why I said that Campaign run was a fluke, bro. Like they didn't in game 2. Where was he? Where was the bench in game 2?
On a milk cart. Yeah, 35-8. The Pistons bench outscored the Knicks bench 35-8.
Say less.
And that's the thing. The Knicks, they're shortening their rotations too. I don't think you've seen any of Precious Achua, for example.
Right. How do you shorten?
How can you shorten what's already short?
They play it 6 deep, bro. Like, what are we talking about, man?
I know, and I mean, you're seeing some Landry Shamet minutes too. That's
right.
I didn't know he was still in the NBA, quite frankly. But shout out, he's getting minutes over Precious Achua. Hey, if you're getting any minutes for the Knicks in the playoffs, you're doing something right.
It's interesting to see them having to really grasp right now when they have what some people thought coming to the series, 2 of the top 3 players in the series.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would say that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see them now in a position to where by game 3, and really in the middle of game 2, having to grasp for certain straws. And you're sitting here asking questions. Like we talked about this yesterday. The Knicks have a lot of questions to answer if they start losing games. People, especially if they lose the series, everything they invested in this team. It's just like, man, and you lose to a team that's an upstart, that's on the rise, it presents a whole lot more questions. This is what I was saying about the Atlanta Hawks going back last year. And now you see teams like the Atlanta Hawks have been passed up by teams like the Pistons. If the Knicks falter this year, I do believe this is a situation on the big stage with all the bright lights where it's just going to be a double negative for the New York Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
You can't invest this much in Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns. Because I told the social team, too, track this graphic, right? What's interesting about this series, what team did we get Jalen Duren from? It was the New York Knicks.
It was New York
We
Knicks,
lost
yeah.
that number 1 pick because we made the playoffs that we traded to get Jalen Duren, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what did the New York Knicks do? They used that draft pick to go and get Karl-Anthony Towns. Think about the implications in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. No first-round pick, no Jalen Duren, but you got Cat. Cat has to show out. Or what a waste of an investment for a team that had NBA championship aspirations.
When you really think about it, and it's the Knicks are in and I've said this before, an unenviable position, as unenviable of a position as you can be in, because when you really look at what they did, what they had to spend for Mikal Bridges, what they had to give up for Karl-Anthony Towns.
First rounds for Bridges.
It was something ridiculous. It was something
picks
insane.
I'm seeing in the chat.
5 picks, unbelievable. There's no choice then but to be championship or bust, and I will definitely defend the Cat trade because he has been really good for the Knicks, and I don't think they lost that much in Dante DiVincenzo and a Julius Randle, particularly in the playoffs, because playoff Julius Randle, at least in his time with the Knicks, was an absolute
When you compound it, though,
ghost.
is when you got to be successful because you
Right.
pass on Duren
Yeah.
and you pass on the draft pick as well.
Well, that's where if they don't even make it to the second round like they did the last couple of years, it's beyond a failure. And the best part is that nobody will flame them harder than their own media.
Yes.
And that's why I stated if the Detroit Pistons handle business in this game, everything turns up. Yeah. And then that noise, that locker room's frustration, that's stuff that they're going to have to figure out, while meanwhile, they're still trying to play a chess game that they're losing. They're sitting here backpedaling, trying to figure out, okay, what do we do to stop this? These guys are coming in. They entered the series with a game plan to stop Cade. How embarrassing was game 2? That's what I'm saying. And that, you're right. That's why I continue to go back to the OG Anunoby clip. Cade goes out there and has another game. Think about the microphones in OG Anunoby's face again. Think about having to answer this again. All series long. Because what I started seeing from other people who saw this thing, there was other fans out there. They were like, wait, bro. And there were Toronto fans who entered the chat. They were like, bro, Cade been cooking OG since his Toronto days.
No, yeah,
like, y'all
real.
are in for a long
It's
series.
real.
And that's where you have this chance to, if you're as nasty, as gritty, as mean as you know you are, push this team over the rails. JB himself said that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to push teams over the rails, out of character, and that, to me, I believe is a key. And you mix that in as well with a rocking LCA crowd, Cade going ham, Beasley shimmying. Yes, you will see the New York Knicks implode. You will see them implode. Look,
no, I
so
agree with
thin
you.
right now,
I agree
bro.
with you. They failed their mission. They wanted to win both games at home. I think they felt like they probably needed to win both games at home, and that's where some doubt creeps into their head, because you're looking at Karl-Anthony Towns, who's got playoff allegations, which he was working hard to fight in game 1, but in game 2 he was a ghost, especially in the second half. I would say, too, that someone like Mikal Bridges, I think he's been a disappointment overall. Has he been bad? Absolutely not. But for what you had to get for him, he's been a disappointment. The only person on the Knicks who I think can't get rattled, really, is Jalen Brunson. Yeah. But we've seen that in game 2, he can get his. And I personally think Jalen Brunson played a lot better than a lot of people in the chat give him credit for.
But he's been really good this year.
But across the board, when you look at Josh Hart, who I didn't think was capable of being rattled, but maybe he is. When you look at Josh Hart, when you look at OG, when you look at Mikal Bridges, even though he got his points but wasn't as efficient, when you look at all of those guys, Karl-Anthony Towns especially, didn't play up to their standard.
And you know what I love, too, about the pick and rolls? The Detroit Pistons are one of your best pick and roll teams across several metrics. Pick and roll assists, pick and pops, getting to the, scoring off the pick and roll. Cade Cunningham in the pick and pop game, pick and roll game. I can just pull up like 10 different stats, and the Pistons are like top 5 in all of them. They picked on the New York Knicks, bro. Yeah. They were like, where's Mikal Bridges a couple times. It was crazy. And then one time they were like, all right, get Mikal Bridges off of Cade. They put him on Tobias. And what did Cade do? Swung the ball very quickly over, and they picked on him. As long as the Pistons continue to do that and find that matchup, because the Knicks are coming in saying, well, we have to gear up to stop Cade. What is that doing? Tobias is going off. They do that type of stuff again tonight because you can't let Cade beat you. I'm telling you, let these role players have the game they did in game one, dog. It's going to be – and they're going to have it. They're going to have the matchups. They're going to have the size advantages in their matchups too because they're rolling all their coverage towards Cade. And that, to me, is why when they go back to regular defense, when Schroeder's in, that's why I think he's cooking them. He's not a slouch either. And he's taking advantage of the opportunities that, when, okay, Cade's not in, they go back to man-to-man or some soft zone-type defenses. And Schroeder's like, all this space for me, and he's taking advantage of it.
And that's where I wonder if the Knicks at this point, if they get to where they're, and they shouldn't do this, but they're the Knicks, to where they're underestimating some of the veterans right now. Ooh. Whether they work even harder to just say, we cannot let Cade Cunningham beat us. But that's where I think it'll create a lot of open looks for someone like Malik Beasley, who's going to hit them more. Or even when it comes to a Dennis Schroeder, they might sell out even more to stop him and be like, there is no way, and you know where, that Dennis Schroeder's going to do that again. But that might actually work against them. And that's where the Pistons themselves have to make the proper adjustments. That's the thing about playoff basketball, especially when it comes to two kind of hard-nosed, defensive-minded guys like J.B. Bickerstaff and Tom Thibodeau. It is the ultimate chess match, and I just can't wait to see who comes out on top.
I cannot wait. And I see Ryan's reaction in the chat, $4.99 super chat. He says, why wasn't the pick and roll working under Monty? Wasn't he the best pick and roll head coach? I haven't. That's one of the greatest mismanagements of young talent I have ever seen in my life. Part of me feels like if J.B. Bickerstaff was here just the year before, we see the Pistons challenging for the play-in.
Yeah.
I'm just being serious.
Yeah.
I just when you see what these young players have done, because J.B. has continued to say that, he's like, yeah, we like what the vets are doing. But I'm telling you, these young guys that got it, they had it since day one. I knew they had it before I came here. I've been asking about it, and like the smirk he gets, and I'm like, J.B., did you know? Because I know you don't want to throw Monty under the bus. No, JB, did you know there was talent over here? Like, I knew there was something over here. Mm-hmm. Do you know what you're going to do with Ivy? Well, we know. This was before we knew. Is Ivy coming off the bench or not? Then Ivy starting and then having career highs. So I'm just like, JB has a good chance in this series to change a lot of the narratives that followed him here. They have a good coach, good young guy, but can he make the adjustments necessary? And so far he's doing that, but he's going to have to keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. We do got 2 calls. We can try it one more time. Xavier D's been holding for a while, and we got Kenneth Matthews. So
you want to take a break real quick and then come back to calls?
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, some stuff up, definitely.
Yep, y'all hold the line. We're going to get back to y'all.
All right.
What a day for Detroit, man.
We got to hear from Mark White and Caesars.
Wonderful. Mark White, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor today. Download the app. Scan that QR code. All you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, Caesars is so cool, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Scan that QR code. Use code word Woodward1000. And you know what? Make some money tonight on the Pistons.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big Injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Goddamn. All right. Shout out to the good people at Loom. Hell of a day, man.
Listen to Black Arrow.
Shout out to the good people at Loom Cannabis Company, man. And spring is in the air in Michigan is buzzing. It's their new drink, 7.5 milligrams of real THC wrapped in bubbles. Because who don't like bubbles, man? Crafted with real fruit juice and no artificial sweeteners. Big in flavor, low in calories, 100% hangover free. All bubbles, no troubles. Catching in watermelon, cherry, strawberry, or one of the new flavors, raspberry, lemonade, and peach. Crack a can, take a sip, and catch a buzz. Use that code on the screen right now. Do it right now. WSN30 for 30% off your entire order online or in store. And you can get all that by going to loom.com.
Hey, Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year for 6 consecutive years. You got deals of the month. You can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew for just $199 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
Hey, you know what, man? It's Detroit Day. KG got the shades on, and y'all can't even see it, man.
I know.
But we're gonna have to still satisfy it after this, man. Detroit, it's a doubleheader of hype this Thursday, today at Buddy's Pizza. Catch the Pistons pregame, watch party, and postgame show, and our NFL Draft live show. We got 2 shows going on in the same place. You guys want to be there, it's going to be epic. All going down at Buddy's Pizza on Broadway Street in downtown Detroit, so we're right in the middle of the action. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. with wall-to-wall coverage, a great atmosphere in that legendary's Buddy's Golden Crust. Come for the picks, stay for the pizza, and rep the D like only you can. Woodward Sports Network, Buddy's Pizza, tonight. Hey, welcome back to this Wake Up Woodward chat family. It's been electric. They've been on one. We see the numbers. Smash that like button if you have not gotten the opportunity to, and stay tapped in with wall-to-wall coverage all day on Woodward Sports for NFL Draft, playoffs, fan content, all that type of stuff, man, especially on socials. I know Nick, the Heavies, Flannel, there's going to be so much going on in the city today, and we are going to make sure that we keep you guys informed right away. Go ahead and satisfy that like button just really, really quickly, man. I really wish that we could have Glasses KG on the screen for this, but Black Arrow, he will do.
Hey, it's all good, man. And like Sam alluded to earlier, it's time to lay the pipe on that like button, man. Come on now. Y'all know what time it is, man. We in the mood, man. You know, set the mood, set some candles, maybe get some music going, and just go ahead and hit that like button. Smash it a few times. We gonna bust a couple times today for our teams.
Whoa, a couple times. Oh, yeah. My man said I was taking the supplements for tonight.
Oh, yeah, big facts.
Got a couple of facts.
Blue Chew.
Good.
Roast Sparks.
Bro. Shout out to our cannabis brands, man. Dog. They're really competing with each other.
No, they are.
Boom Shakalaka, all bubbles, no troubles. But let's check out this phone line really, really quickly, man. If we can try and feature our people, we definitely want to do that.
No, and shout out Xavier D. Been holding a long time, very patient. When we put you on, just get right into your point because we are having troubles with the phone lines. But Xavier D., you are finally on Wake Up Woodward. What's going on, brother?
Can he hear us?
Okay. It's super choppy, but I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. Am I on?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say real quick that these times are fun for us, but they're even more important for our younger fans, our kid fans. Shout out Kool-Aid Tribe, because these kinds of successes really can form or help form a young person's idea of success. And for my own son, the Going to Work Pistons helped make him incredibly successful, and his catchphrase is still team over stars. So I'm stuck in the shit town of Chicago. So for anybody who uses terms like sports ball or say sports aren't important, you should head down to Woodward mornings, suck on Sam's enormous junk while he thinks about his wife, and understand how important sports and sports success can be for young people. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for keeping me connected. I love you guys.
No, thank you, Xavier. Shout out, that's Xavier D from the chat, one of the legends, and he got 3 possessions in a row on that. That's a great call.
That clock a couple
My
times.
man, he was scoring, stealing the ball, scoring. Shout out to Xavier D. And Flannel was just cheesing ear to ear, man.
No, thank you for that, Xavier D. The one thing that I will say, and I like Chicago.
I mean, you're from there, so.
I like the city of Chicago. I do. It's fun to visit. I
It's
like
a nice
Wrigley
city.
Field. Yeah. But
hate the teams, but nice city.
I like the Cubs. They're in the National
Cubs.
League. Yeah,
We do have to do. We have
Fuck the White
some
Sox,
more
though.
business to take care of, though, gentlemen. We definitely gave our takeaways, breakdowns, the feels, the vibes. How is this game ending? Detroit Pistons, New York Knicks. Big game in this series tonight. They can really put the Knicks on their heels. How you see it going down, Flannel?
Pistons 110, Knicks 105. I think it's going to be close. I think Karl Anthony Towns does more. I do think he comes out hot. And shout out to Tom Herr, by the way. He's been in the chat. He thinks he's Korean Pistons fan. He mentioned how he thinks Karl Anthony Towns is really going to try to get going early, and that's going to be one of the objectives of the Knicks as a team. And I agree with that. But the question is, when the going gets tough, is it just going to be Jalen Brunson kind of doing everything himself? And as good as Jalen Brunson is at creating his own offense, I don't necessarily think that's a winning formula. And in this game in particular, I think it's Cade Cunningham who has another game where he shows out. I think there's going to be more assists. I think the guys like Hardaway Jr. and Beasley are going to knock down more of their open threes. And I think Cade Cunningham will have the dagger and 1. That's my prediction. The dagger and 1 to make it like 110 to 103 or something like that.
I believe it's going to be another game where the Detroit Pistons get out and their athleticism, their speed, their youth, their depth, takes control of this game, much like we saw in games 1 and games 2 early. But that as this game goes on, the veterans hitting the big shots that we haven't really seen them hit in the fourth quarters of the last 2 games. But when you look at how they beat the Knicks this year, they have hit those shots. I believe we see a return to that tonight, and that the Pistons win comfortably. Not a blowout, but it's one in which okay, they had this thing comfortable. The Knicks will maybe have some type of a little bit of a charge, but you can tell the Pistons are going to close this out. I had the Pistons 114, the New York Knicks 107.
Ooh, that's a good score.
Okay.
That's a pretty similar to mine. I like it.
Let's rock. What up, though, KG?
I have Pistons 112, Knicks 104. And I think it's going to be a lot of what you said. The 3 balls coming back tonight for the Pistons. Malik Beasley is on 3-ball watch tonight. Yeah, I think he's going off. Yeah, you at home, the crowd behind you. He know he's been slumping. He's been pressing a little bit. I think he has a big night tonight, and Spinney has been predicting that as well. Shout out to Spinney. But, yeah, I think your defense is going to, once again, take effect in this game. They're going to go out there. They're going to try to foul bait, especially off of these press conferences in which they are asking for foul calls. So watch the referees tonight, because either they are going to give them calls or it's going to be really bad the other way around. And I just feel like the Pistons defensively, they've kind of figured out how to guard Karl Anthony Towns at this point. And you want Jalen Brunson to go out there and try and play hero ball. So I got the Pistons winning somewhat comfortably at, like you said, 112-104. Let's go.
Hey, let's go. We got to get Cavassier Chase on this as well. Everybody give their predictions of how this game is going. But if you're ready now, we'll definitely. Cavassier, what you feeling, man, for this game tonight? Pistons versus Knicks.
We definitely got the Pistons. Score prediction, I'll say 112, 106. I think the Pistons like a 6-point win. I want to say we keep them under 100, but I think both teams get over 100 tonight, and I think maybe Game 4 we have a better chance of keeping them under 100 again. So
I feel like that, and all of our scores are similar. That the defense is going to flex.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a chance to keep them under 100, but they might free throws, game slowing down at the end of the game.
Sure,
I could definitely see that, man. Hey, JB Smooth, what up, though, brother?
Man, I'm not gonna sit up here and disrespect the Knicks, even though I really want to. I really want to. After that shit that came out about Homegirl talking about, oh, what is that, Little Caesars Arena? Oh, that's so cute.
We not worried about CBS Sports fake Malika Andrews. We not worried about her,
cute.
bro.
You know what? But I'll put some respect on the
down
Knicks. Pistons get this win. 110-101. This is just an improvement off of Game 2. Cade, continue on your offensive dominance performance that you've had. Defense, those defensive rebounds, you have to get those. Stop these second chance opportunities that you're giving the Knicks once again, and just disrupt the Knicks game plan from the start of the game. Get Cat Brunson off their game tonight, and I'm really interested to see on how the officiating will go tonight. Will Cade have to bleed to get calls, and will you stop giving Brunson all these flop fouls just every single time that he gets possession?
It ain't been going their way like that.
I'll say Cade got his calls in Game 2.
I want him to get his calls, but can you imagine if Cade has one of those 35-point, 11 assists, 6 rebound master classes with no rebounds
or no free throws,
and they win? Because he's done that.
No way.
He's one of those players that when they start talking about the players who've scored 30 plus with no free throws, he's one of those guys that pops up in some of these things. If he has that, dog,
that would be just epic. Cade game,
especially when everyone talking about
all
free
time.
Throws.
Yeah,
we know
yeah.
He can do this without it.
If they won, but were minus 10 in free throws or something like that, what can Tibbs say after that? Win the game, and trust me, Cade, continue to get aggressive. Hope that you get your calls. But if something like that happens, 35 points, 11 assists, no free throws, I would lay the pipe, obviously. That's what I do. On my wife. But that'd be just one of those things.
And we gotta get Chop Cheese, Mr. Chop Cheese himself, in on this.
The
man. I was
IQA.
like, yo, what's gonna be the nickname? Mr. Chop Cheese himself. We got Willie B. Hey, Pistons versus Knicks. What's the takeaways? What's that final score? How's it going down? Give me the passion too. You don't gotta be respectful to the Knicks.
Okay, cool. They fucking Chop Cheese. I'll tell you that, man.
Is your microphone on?
I think it is.
I hear him.
Okay, cool. I'm just making
They
sure.
fucking Chop Cheese. Let's be straight up, man. You know, I got the Pistons 120 to the Knicks 105. I can see respectfully a 20 dub blowout win for the Pistons, especially in the Little Caesars Arena, especially with the chicken tenders is being fried up and it's smelling good after this fan base. So that case, man, I want to see Cade with a triple double, Jalen Brown with 20 rebounds, 10 points respectfully. We would get in. And I want the rest of the bench doing what they do. Malik Beasley will get a 30-point win. So in that case, it's going to be a barn burner. I tell you that in Little Caesars Arena, man. Chop fucking cheese.
Hey,
let's go.
I'm at Willie B. Man, I'm so pumped up right now. I feel like that's a show because I know we got so much more that we got to do today. But anything else from you, Mr. Clemson?
Tigers won a series from the Padres.
That's right.
Let's go.
Right, they did.
That's what I'm talking
Reese
about.
Olsen pitched a master class, bro.
Damn right he did.
Everyone, the bullpen too. Like they
Throw some heat.
Tommy
shut
Kahnle?
them down.
Tommy Kahnle and Will Vest both have ERAs under 1, by the way. And Justin Henry Malloy, first home run of the season. If the Tigers can get his bat going, that man. And I'm not. This is gonna sound a little bit probably too glazing, but in my opinion, Justin Henry Malloy has Soto-esque plate discipline.
Oh,
He's
shit.
obviously not Juan Soto, but look at his career on base percentages, both in the MLB and in in the minors at all levels.
I'm not mad at that, Sam. There's a reason they have him lead off in most games. Like,
absolutely, because the man just takes his walks as well as a lot of the top ones in the MLB. Besides guys, of course, like Soto or Aaron Judge, but Soto-esque plate discipline, but he's about 1/100th the hitter right now. But that might, hey.
And
Riley Green.
Yep, shout out Riley Green. I was just about to get to that. Riley Green, 2 for 4 on the day.
Yeah.
Andy Ibanez, 2 for 3, the lefty killer, man. Gleyber Torres, my dog, maybe future All-Star for the Tigers.
Hey, and maybe
gets a home run, big one. And the Dingler, bang.
Dingler.
The Dingler. Look at it, JB.
Whoa.
Dingler.
I was like, let me see if I can catch JB.
No, but Dylan Dingler, speaking of, he's putting up all-star catcher numbers right now.
Yeah.
Is he going to sustain that? I'm not sure, but he's been, especially with Jake Rogers being out.
Yeah, he almost got an 800 OPS, right?
Yeah, 780.
Yeah. But next man up mentality isn't just like, playing the position. It's finding a way to make sure this team has opportunity to meet all of its goals while you're in there. We saw the Lions do that.
Yeah.
So while we're still waiting for guys to get back healthy and such, it's awesome to see some of the guys that we might have had some questions about really stepping up right now.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to my new boy, Javier motherfucking Baez. In center field was a fucking gem yesterday. Neil Suckett, man. Javi was great
Neil
in center
gonna
field
get
yesterday.
pissed
Man, had
again.
an amazing play with his back turned to the
The most amazing 0 for 4 game.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It was a damn good catch.
It was.
That's all you got to say.
He looks good in center field, though.
And
He
this
does.
season, this is where you just have to go off of facts. Am I trying to defend Javi Baez? Absolutely not. But he's not a negative defender this year.
Yeah, and we know what he is at the plate.
Look at defensive WAR.
If you
It's
get
positive.
anything from him at the plate, it's an added bonus. But this Tigers offense just needs to keep doing what they're doing.
I'm a little bit worried though about a Javi Baez cold spell, but that's fine. They're winning.
It's gonna happen.
Man, tell the show, brother. That's why. We're going to see a lot of each other today, and I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Chat family, I'm hoping we see a lot of you all today because we're getting crazy. Buddy's Pizza, the show gets going at 6, but we're going to be downtown pretty much filing in like around 3 o'clock, getting set up, getting over to the Chevrolet Plaza by 4:30, getting some content both in the arena, outside the arena, and asking you guys your keys to victory and just getting crazy. I'm telling you, I'm throwing all the professionalism out the window today. That in-arena content, the Pistons PR probably going to look at me like I'm crazy today, but today is just about the hype and the passion of the people who already got the victory shades on because Detroit has already won. We're in the spotlight today. It's 83 degrees today, and Woodward's going to be in the middle of it. We want to feature you all, so get down there. Buddy's Pizza downtown, okay? Both the NFL Draft and NBA playoffs, Broadway Street in downtown Detroit. Our coverage will start at 6 p.m. But shout out to Matthew Broder, that dude Justin, for what you guys, for what you do for the network and the show. Cavassier Chase in the building, man. What up, though, brother?
Yo, what up, though? How's it going, guys? Stay tapped in all day. We're going to have, like I said, like Cooley said, the draft coverage, the watch party. You got Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards later today. You got a bunch of cool content. I believe I saw last night the premiere of part 1, JB, you said, of Woodward Ringside KG. Is that you guys have a 2-parter?
Yeah, it's a 2-parter.
WrestleMania?
Hot show.
So yeah,
Hot
part
show.
1's out of that. Also, Fast and Loose, episode 7's out. So a bunch of stuff for you guys to tap into in between all of the shows that we've got going on. So hope you guys enjoy. Hope we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, I see that Woodward Ringside, man. Hey, I see the numbers.
Hey,
I
man,
see
we
the
doing
numbers,
all right. We doing all right.
Hey, shout out to this elite booth, though. In the sound booth, we got Woodward Sports, #1 draft pick, Rookie of the Year, MVP. That's KG. What up, though?
Hey, Detroit, stand the fuck up tonight. Let's put the NBA on notice and show them that LCA is one of the toughest places to play in the NBA, man. I'm so looking forward to tonight. And it's crazy. You almost don't even think about the draft because the Pistons so damn good right now.
Yeah.
But, hey, the Lions, Brad Holmes going to put on for us, man. He's never let us down. I'm looking forward to the draft. It's just a great time to be a Detroit sports fan. Shout out everybody that tuned in with us, almost 600 strong the whole episode. We love y'all. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of y'all. I love my team. We're going to have a great night tonight. Let's create some memories, man. Keep it going.
Hey, definitely. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. JB Smooth with the fire hat. What up, though, brother?
Hey, as KG said, it is good to be a Detroit sports fan. Tonight is going to be epic. I'm going to be back and forth, looking at both TVs, going back and forth. My neck is going to be hurting. That's all I can say right now. But it is going to be a fire night. Everyone get downtown. Enjoy yourself. Jam-packed LCA. Have some fun tonight because it's going to be crazy. Fast and Loose out right now. Woodward Ringside episodes 1 and 2 from night 1 and 2 are out right now as well, too. So go and check them out as well.
Great stuff, man.
It's amazing stuff with KG and our guy Freddie Felt. Shout out once again. and have some fun tonight. Come check us out, too.
Yo, I absolutely love how Woodward Sports is allowing, our personalities, our hosts, our support staff to be able to actually create content regularly and support the content of those that support us like a Freddie Felt. I'm telling you guys, as we continue to grow, these are the things we want to do. We want to feature y'all. We got Mr. Chop Cheese himself. What up, though, Willie B?
What's happening? Brandon, it's always been a pleasure, and it's only a pleasure being with you guys. It's always phenomenal to have different types of people who got the same concept when it comes to sports in Detroit, and we represent it every day, every time we step in. And guess what? Let's keep this going, man. Let's enjoy our atmosphere and make this content of Detroit sports well known. And hey, I love it, man. I love your energy. I love being around with you guys, man. I apprate. Shout out to you guys, man.
Thank you. Having you around here, man.
Love
Your
you,
energy, your encouragement, your support, your
you.
desire to just want to make the team better, bro. That's what it's all about, and that's what I know about everybody on this Woo Crew and Woodward.
Big fact.
Hey,
Sammy.
The pipe layer.
Yeah. Hey,
Crash out.
Big pipe. I was about to say, you better be careful because these days, Flannel Sam is giving big musket to everybody. What up? What up?
Bang.
Big pipe
With no lubrication.
White claw flannel loading tonight.
I'm talking
Y'all
the cannonball bullet.
No lubrication. And Woodward wings.
Absolutely. Do you know what's an underrated aspect about tonight?
What up, though?
Very nicely timed off day for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
The script writers.
There would be just way too much stimulus. Well, obviously, a regular season game 1 out of 162, I'd be paying the third most attention to that, but I'd be tapped in a little bit. We all know Nick Koloff would have to be a little preoccupied as well. So thank you, Tigers, for giving us all a day off from you for just one day.
And winning a series against one of the best teams in the fucking MLB.
And they're going to win one against the Orioles because the Orioles pitching is ass.
Hey, you got Joe, Mize, and Scooble coming up.
I think we're gonna get a shaved flannel Sam in this next year.
Yeah,
You want my brother line you up, man?
Well, he's not cutting the beard until Riley Green hits a home run.
Or my hair.
Or his hair. Oh, snap, I forgot.
Yeah.
He's almost at Ron Burgundy status. He's almost at
Right.
milk was a bad choice.
When he was drinking the milk in the fucking 90-degree weather.
Milk was a bad choice.
Right.
By the end of the year, we might get like Robin Williams Jumanji Sam.
Oh, shit. I hope he don't go.
Don't put that energy out there.
Right.
Damn.
He's not going to have 3 forever. I mean, but we all know the one thing that could happen. Please, no.
This is the way the universe would work against you, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At least he's back on the hitting track. So
Yeah, 2 for 4.
Bro, if the hair gets involved,
You'll take it.
We got the brave flannel up.
yeah, we might have to.
We
Though.
have to, man. Hey,
Brian, let's take care of you.
There you go.
Shout out.
Oh, my God. I wonder if there's a threshold to where my wife would be like, what the F are you doing?
Bro, you come over the braids, your wife might have the big musket energy.
Hey,
there you
something
go.
different, a little something different, spice it up a
Indeed,
little
man.
bit.
Spice it up, flannel.
hey,
But
Put some flavor in your
with like a disgusting beard. Though,
right.
You know what I mean? That would be a little. Please, Riley Green, come on.
James Harden
If not
beard
for
right
yourself,
now.
for me.
Now get that braided too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, President aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter writer for the network. I gotta take these guys off because I can't believe what we're seeing right now with the Pistons. Like, this day is finally arrived, man, and go out there and do work. And I just can't wait to be amongst people, be amongst my brothers at Woodward Sports. Let's have a day. It's been Wake Up Woodward on Woodward Sports. Stay tapped in. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Have a blessed day, man. Let's go.